what y'all be doing out there? I'm not familiar. Oh shit. Oh my god. 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 It's What's Up with the Minutes. Episode 18? Question mark? 18? 18? That's 18. Yo, that's crazy.
Oh my god. We're old enough to vote. We're old enough to vote.
What's Up with the Minutes is no longer neurodivergent and minor. We finally made it. Big leagues. Crazy. Old as fuck. What's Up with the Minutes? We're a podcast. We do the talking and the stuff. Talking about hip hop, raps, you know, the things and the like. So we do. Every 2 weeks we come here with 3 topics. Throughout them, three topics, and we discuss them with you guys today. We're joined by a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself, Unsung, from the Unseen Underground podcast and also the rap thing? Tell us what you do. Tell us you.
This is Steve, aka Unsung.
What the hell?
Rapper, producer. Those are the only 2 elements of hip hop I do or have done. I also have a podcast. I don't. I break. I don't dance. I have a podcast where I interview.
That's so cold.
Indie artists and people in that scene about their paranormal experiences. It's obviously very niche, which is why there aren't that many episodes, but maybe there will be again someday.
There's more episodes than there are What's Up with the Minutes.
That's right.
Let's compare it out there. So Unseen Underground for the meantime is outpacing us, but we're catching up. Steve, watch your fucking back.
Okay, good. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, okay.
We're coming for you. Would my lovely co-hosts like to introduce themselves?
Grand Mega Flowers, Robinson Mega, regular person here, Tokyo-based hip hop art and culture stuff, Secret House Against, HGK, all that stuff.
What's that stand for?
Higher Dimension Crew.
Breaking
Breaking Crew. I've been throwing that out. HGK, TDQ, Tibetan Death Quartet. You know.
Yeah, you be saying stuff, and sometimes I'm like, I'm not gonna ask that one because I feel like I'm gonna get like a crazy story about it. But that one, I was like, let me jump in there real quick. You got backstories on backstories, bro. Like it gets complicated. And who's this? Who's this guy? Wait, this guy?
That guy.
Yeah, that way.
Yeah. Who's that guy?
My name is Trey, also known as Trey, and I don't do anything else because I got banned off of Twitter and I lost all my emotions. So I'm just a citizen now.
Fantastic.
I do nothing else.
It's good for the state of humanity.
Nah. I got suspended for like a week. I had to go and get passionate about basketball. This is why I don't get into sports because you can't even threaten players' lives anymore.
You got suspended at the wrong time too, like the worst time for you.
What's happened? It's
the best time. It's the best time. I didn't want to be on there when they were talking about fucking Megan and Klay Thompson.
Nah, man, the gender wars are getting fire right now, bro. You're really missing out. Men ain't shit. Broke boys deserve 0 pussy. Literally not even a smidge. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy out here, bro. Not even a crumb, bro.
So because I'm a victim of capitalism, I can't get no play. That's crazy.
No, not one bit of play, bro. Anyways, hello. My name is Kosey, aka Kosey. She, her champion, transgender queen doing the hip hop thing. We out here. What's Up with the Minutes? Episode 18. That's a big ass number. Oh my god. It's crazy.
That's an accomplishment.
Isn't it? That's like,
it is.
Yeah.
That's like, carry the one. Yeah, 18. I got that, dude. That's a big ass number.
Listen, too. We haven't taken any time off except for around Christmas, which is reasonable. Yeah, we haven't missed a schedule.
Yeah.
It feels up to me. I wouldn't have shown up in a few weeks.
We don't be stopping you. If you want to not be here, you don't need to be here, bro.
I have malware on my PC that makes me open StreamYard.
I was supposed to be
virus,
with
bro.
Obi-Wan tonight. Like Obi-Wan's got shows here. He moved out to Tokyo. You know, it's like go out.
Bro, you always blaming us for missing shows, bro. We be telling you to go.
Only when it's on Saturdays. Last time I missed Woods.
Oh,
damn.
true.
Yeah, Woods and not injuries, by storm.
Injury reserve and Dos Monos tonight. Yeah, Doofus and Obi-Wan here in Tokyo, like right down the street too. Like, I could have biked, no, it's all good. I'm happy. I'm quite happy being here. You know, if I wanted to go, I would have went, but I wanted to be here to rock with y'all and have some good times talking about our topics and shit.
Real. Shout out. And speaking of topics, what are our topics today? If we had to have, say, 3 topics that we discussed every 2 weeks, and like this week we chose specifically like a 3 to talk about right now, what would those be? You know, what would those be?
What would you like the creators to discuss what their topics are?
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
I don't even have a topic this week. I'm taking the week off, man. I'm relaxed.
Okay.
What's this?
My topic so lazy.
My topic is about the term experimental in the usage of like hip hop, experimental hip hop, and a little bit of the discourse that's been going on about that term recently. So I'd like to get to the bottom of that and figure that out and have a discussion about it.
Ripped from the headlines. I like it.
Yeah, had to get topical because I couldn't think of a topic.
My topic, what the fuck's my topic is this or that. Hip hop, this or that.
You're not next, bro.
Oh well,
How dare you? Interrupting the flow of things, man.
Diagonal and then clockwise.
Oh, okay. He's gone. Steve, tell your topic because this guy Trado not at the podcast, bro.
I guess the topic is kind of like how to be yourself in hip hop and try not to like piggyback, change your accent. I also want to talk about hand gestures when we're on the stage rapping. Yeah, exactly. You got it.
Cold. Oh, that one's crazy. I ain't seen that one before, bro.
That's experimental hand.
I've been hitting these ones recently.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, them grind man, they be like, that's crazy, bro. I'm telling you, them man go nuts.
Video, you're not even
no,
on
but
the
it's
mic.
always guns, bro. I'm telling you, bro. It's always like this.
You got to hit him with the knife hand.
Ooh, they don't know about the knife hand, bro.
You have to punctuate the points.
Oh no, you gotta hit him with the run the jewels. Run the jewels, right, guys?
You rapping
right,
like this is crazy. That's nuts. Spit a verse and you're just holding your hands like this the whole time.
You gotta have a lapel mic for that. Yeah, real hip hop.
Yeah. Steve said his topic.
Yeah.
My topic is a little game show called This or That. Woo! I definitely didn't take it from Mega after he changed his topic.
Impossible.
I have an assortment of 2 things across rap and hip hop, and the contestants will pick between this or that. And the goal is to spark discussion. Hopefully we can get a good argument going. Whatever gets the ratings up, you know.
Shout out.
But before we get into that, we have a thing called Patreon, patreon.com. And we usually offer episodes early. We offer bonus episodes. We have not bonus episodes. I just
you
bonus topics.
Yeah.
Bonus topics. And you know, we kind of just yap on the bonus topics. But we had the bright idea to get you guys involved. So if you want to give us questions, any type of question, we will select randomly and talk about them in the bonus section. So if you want to do that, just drop a comment. You know, we gotta up the interaction and shit.
Yeah.
But we do have current patrons, our lovely patrons who we love dearly, and their names are Wet Sticker, Paul Hurdle, Gavin, Devil May Swear, Alex Pennington, Naga, Stilo, Zoom, Fick, Caden, Evan, Grand Mega Flowers, Bleach, and Dan from Free Music Empire.
Fantastic. Yay. Shout out.
Mega pays for StreamYard and also pays for the Patreon.
Well, we didn't make him pay for the Patreon.
But we did make him pay for the StreamYard. We did.
I did make him. All he had to do was send me the bill.
We did offer, but you know, I'm just a kid. I go to uni, man. I don't have any money.
Kindly wizened sage. I appreciate it.
This is what we needed, man. This is what we needed.
Yeah.
Know what you said? Don't worry about it.
You saying grow up. Mega, would you like to start us off?
Yeah. Let's get right into it. So, again, recently there's been some discussion about the term and the usage of the term experimental in hip hop. JPEGMAFIA is titling his upcoming album. I think it's called experimental or maybe experimental hip hop, and he shot some
experimental rap.
Experimental rap, okay, and he shot some subliminal lines, I think, in an interview towards some of his contemporaries, and yeah, and who he feels is kind of deserving of having that that subgenre associated with them. Now, I don't really care to navigate what the fuck JPEGMAFIA is discussing in regards to what experimental hip hop is, but I do have some ideas about it, and I'm also happy that we've got another old head here amongst you young ends. He
said you old as fuck. He said you old as fuck.
Why did you do that?
I'm like a year older than Megan, so I will take that.
We've been in high school together and shit, right? So
yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, I think that the conversation is deeply meaningful in the discussion of radical art, and it's imperative that we kind of discuss it and not overlook kind of what the term means historically in the creation of art. And I one of the things that I noticed on the Rap Music Plug podcast Discord is that somebody was saying, I think they were saying that to experiment, to be creative is to experiment, and it's kind of a redundant term. And I was saying that I don't necessarily agree with that take, and I understand that take, but I don't necessarily agree with it. And yeah, so I wanted to open it up to you guys and let you guys get started, and then
I want to go first. Oh, Trey. No, you got it. Yeah, you got it.
No, I'm not even going on a tangent. I want to pose this to Megan and Steve. When you guys were growing up doing the hip hop thing, what was the term experimental rap used as often as it is now?
No, but it was. It became codified, during my tenure there. It's like experimental meant, like, the terms avant-garde, experimental, and abstract were things that were used back then. But as time happens, like, things that were experimental become formulaic, and they become part of formulas, and they become less experimental. There was a time where the roots were experimental hip hop because we did not have live music a part of the kind of pathos and approach to making hip hop, right? I mean, even though the first song is a live band trying to play break, back then, even people were saying that, the Roots isn't really doing hip hop, right? If they're not using samples and they're not using, electronic beats and stuff. But at the same time, at the kind of genesis of hip hop, we have like Planet Rock, which is sampling Audiker and things of that nature. So hip hop has always been deeply experimental, and I'm one of the guys that thinks that hip hop can be anything. If you say it's hip hop, it's hip hop. But the terms like abstract, avant-garde, and experimental, I believe, are rooted in things historically, and don't just, even though things have been kind of reified and codified into being normal, it's like,
just to hop in. Oh wait, no, Steve, are you answer the question as well? Actually,
I think Meg is absolutely on target there, and I think abstract was probably used a lot more in the 90s, early 2000s than experimental was. But I think one of the things you have to look at is, are we looking at this from the point of view, is this experimental for the artist, or is this experimental for the genre? So I think those are two drastically different things. I think that a lot of the time an artist can create an album that critics say is experimental, which means that they're going outside of their box. They're experimenting with new things. That doesn't necessarily mean that this is a reinvention of the wheel for whatever genre they're in. So I think those are two kind of drastically different things that you have to look at first and foremost.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going to come in with, like, how the word is obviously like very contextual. So it's like to say creating is experimental, so that the word itself is therefore redundant. But it's more so it's kind of missing the fact that, like, the word experimental is being used as like this thing exists and this other thing is separate from it and is trying to be separate from it and is doing a interesting thing in its own lane separate from this. So it's like it's experimental in contrast to something that isn't, or is less. It's not saying that nothing else other than this thing is experimental. It's saying that this thing is trying to be something more, in the sense of, like, like it's like what you said before of like Roots being experimental at the time because that's a new approach to hip hop. In the same way, like Peggy's new thing is like he's using like guitar synths and shit. He's doing like what? How would I even explain it? It's kind of like new metal-y, like neo metal-y in terms of like the way that he's producing right now, or like was on his last project. It's a lot of like guitar textures put through crazy granulators and shit, and it's cool. It's cool. I'm not commenting on like the quality of it, but I'm saying like that's experimental in the sense that that's a different lane to what anyone else is doing right now. It's not experimental meaning that nothing else is. It's experimental meaning that this specifically is trying to do something different in the grander landscape of hip hop or his artistry or the people around him. And I find like his specific claim that he's the king of it obviously is a little bit it's a little bit silly. But
I disagree.
Yeah. You think it's not silly is what you're saying?
It's not silly at all.
Okay.
I think that he is one of the more experimental artists within the genre, especially compared to Mike and Earl in a way.
Yeah. I wasn't saying it's silly for him to consider himself to be at the upper echelon of experimental rap. I think like his I don't want this to be the JPEGMAFIA topic. I feel like his output before was like it's championed by a lot of people for a reason, you know. His stuff until LP is all talked about with a great amount of reverence for a reason. But I just think just the way he goes about it is so corny, bro. That's what it is. Go on,
Trey, go ahead.
I think in hip hop we've come across a conundrum of sorts called the Schrodinger's experiment, where everything and nothing is experimental. We're at a point in time where, you know, JPEGMAFIA wants to be the GOAT of experimental rap, but we have peers that don't even think he's experimental. And then we have Playboy Cardi, who I think is experimental, but he's also mainstream. So can you be experimental if you have critical acclaim? I feel like people try to put like a popularity bar on experimentalness, you know? And I also feel like the term experimental rap, I don't know, I feel like at some point it had like kind of a gloss to it where it's like this person's pushing boundaries, but nowadays it just sounds like a slur. I feel like if you call something experimental now, you're getting called a slur now.
He's talking about Jay-Z, bro. He's talking about Jay-Z.
I'm just saying.
Experimental is the new N-word, bro.
The way people,
is the new N-word, bro.
I say this because the way people interact with experimental rap, it has this stigma around it at this point. Mostly because big figures like Earl or JPEG, who didn't really do anything in particular except like just creating their own lane, but it still has the stigma with it where it feels like it always has to be prefaced with like experimental niggas do this, experimental niggas do that.
Yeah, I do see a lot of people saying shit like
black
that.
People don't listen to insert experimental artists, shit like that. So I don't know. Go ahead.
Can I go?
Mega, please.
This is one of the things that I feel is kind of weird about the conversation, is because people are using like this rationality when it comes to looking at the term itself and looking at what is an experiment, what does it mean to experiment, what does it mean to play or be creative within a music space and do things that are potentially different. And I think that removes from the frame kind of the historical element of which these genres emerge from. Like the terms like avant-garde, experimental, dada, abstract, noise, and these genres are they were ways to demarcate and gesture towards a separating of themselves from forms of mass culture. And it's one thing to say, you know, like it's like somebody being extremely rational and saying, oh yeah, well, like the definition for racism is this, so this meets the criteria for racism, and it removes from the frame of the historical context, cultural elements, and actually where it comes from. The idea of these the elements of independent underground, like when I talk, it was funny, I was talking about doing underground records for the last Radio Free Mega, right? Mm-hmm. And Dano was sending me fucking 3 6 Mafia and these other things, and I was like, no, I'm specifically talking about independent underground hip hop in terms of capsulating and capturing exactly what it meant to be in that part of the 4-element independent underground scene. I'm not talking about 3 6 Mafia. I'm not talking about gangster rap music that was coming from independent spaces of not being a part of the music industry. And when I use the term experimental or abstract or avant-garde or discuss noise, I'm talking about the lineage of art that was actually trying, that was tethered to radical outlooks and positions on how to interact with what was considered mainstream, and subgenres and subculture is always upstream from mainstream. And so when we talk about like what is and isn't now, it is very historically contingent. When we talk about the roots now, that's not experimental hip hop in any way or form, in the same way that the new McKinley Dixon is not experimental in the same way as, you know, you could consider the roots in 1992 or 93.
Right.
It's not that. That's like we have all these other genre things. And it's important to point out that a lot of times these subgenre titles are really just marketing tools to target a demographic and get things off. But again, they're also a part of the people who are creating the art that want to use these terms to punctuate their intent. And it's a whole different thing to call El Producto experimental hip hop than it was to call, say, Anticon experimental hip hop, because they're having two different approaches. They're both wild, weird, and unique, and come from a unique pathos of hip hop, but they're also historically contingent on what they're trying to achieve. Now we've reified and codified these terms to the point where we have artists that are huge and worldwide and not regional, like Billy Woods and Open Mike Eagle and all of these guys who are creating strange hip hop that is, or hip hop that sounds different from the mainstream, move left or right, or have all these different elements to it. But the fact of the matter is like there's this kind of repeating of these patterns that make them formulas, and people follow those formulas and they get lumped into the experimental genre when they're not really being experimental. They are just the products of the culture moving in that specific direction. You're not experimental if you're 16 years old, you grew up and you heard about Mike at 15 and you just make music like Mike's music. That's not experimental. That's your taste in hip hop, and that's you trying to ape and do things like that people consider hip hop, who are usually laymen who don't have a historical perspective of the politics. They don't have a historical perspective of the lineage and the traditions of these art forms. And it's very silly to me to really be strong about those positions from the rational standpoint of here's the definition, here's what it means, this is why it should be this way. Like Peggy is really let me just finish this thought. Peggy is really trying to subvert a lot of the tropes in hip-hop music, but Peggy also comes from being a fan of Yeezus, which was aping other abstract styles that he used to make that. Now, why Kanye uses those things and took from, you know, Hudson Mohawk and took from all these other artists who were being more experimental and codified and made it a little bit more palatable, and Peggy may have got inspired by that. The fact of the matter is that when he's talking about Earl and Alchemist making the same song for 20 years, he's kind of got a point about the way that functions as experimental art within the landscape of what is actually experimental. And that's how I feel about it.
That's kind of like I'm saying. There's a conversation I was having the other week where like Death Grips and their like role as the industrial hip hop guys as like is known because of their height and like success in that lane. Like,
and nobody heard about Dalek 25 years ago. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, but that's the thing is like there's always like a kind of iterative process to these genres being created. So when something is given a label by any means, it's already like 5 years down the line of this sound being iterated on and growing and completing. You know, like you look at any dance genre, you can't say like dubstep started here. You know, you go from all of these different people making different things that are inspired by each other, and then you get to a point where something's recognizably dubstep. But at what point before that was it within that sphere? You know, when people like to say RZA invented the drumless beat, you know, but he was just kind of like subduing the beat in a certain way. And for I forget which album it was. One of the Wu-Tang albums has a few beats that have the drums a lot quieter than usual, I guess. And people who are hip hop historians on Twitter and online would like to say that those those people would like to say that RZA invented the drumless beat and the drumless wave came from that, and it's more so that was kind of a prototype, and then the people took inspiration from that and like quieted the drums and moved from there. So where you would say the experimental lens could come in, you could describe the RZA thing as experimental. The RZA thing was doing something that other people weren't doing, and it went somewhere. But to say that is like the cornerstone of experimental is like deeply removed from the context it was in. You know, people heard it and they were just like, yeah, this is just more RZA. You know, this is just RZA continuing to grow as an artist, rather than being like, this is RZA completely changing the game. He's experimenting. You know, and it's like a lot of people right now when they look at say a Woods or Open Mike Eagle, as you previously mentioned, you know, when they came on the scene and they're inspired by these people who are doing a similar thing to them, and they're, to the people who aren't aware of the slow iterative process of the genre that led to the exact moment when Open Mike Eagle sound like Open Mike Eagle, or the exact moment when Billy Woods sound like Billy Woods, are going to assume, like, maybe wrongly, maybe not, that this is where experimental is. This is what experimental is, and it's. I wouldn't say that those people are completely incorrect in that. I wouldn't say that there's, you know, because if you're going to compare it to like pop music and stuff like that, there's obviously a purposeful diversification away from that. That's not the right word. The moving away from that, you know, there's a purposeful like route away from that they're taking, but to kind of lump it all in as experimental still also misses the point. I think you kind of, to say this is experimental also misses it. Trey and UNSUNG did their hands first, bro. You got you're in the line, bro.
This is why I feel like everything is experimental and nothing is experimental at the same time.
Creating is experimenting.
To
call it hip hop.
Megan's point, that's not even my point. But also to Megan's point, in reference to the Peggy thing, I do think Peggy is left of what Earl and Alchemist usually do together. But also, Peggy, like a lot of people in response to the single that came with this, Peggy has also gotten formulaic, and he does like the vocal loop thing, and then like he's not rapping like in any like fucking weird time signature or anything. He's just like rapping over the beat. And then I feel like some of the shit Elucid does on interference pattern is more experimental than what Peggy does. And I'm sure there's niggas that got something more experimental than Elucid. So that's why I think that was Peggy's main misstep in trying to stake his claim on experimental rap. Because while he might be pushing it more than Earl and Alchemist, in the grand scheme of things, I feel like, you know, you can't really be crowned the king of such a thing. But also, I think the kind of ego that comes with that is also why
hip hop is
experimental. It's why experimental has become like an averse term almost. Because like a lot of niggas like in response to that, they were like, "But Earl experiments like this and this and this." And then when Earl's
there's always a more experimental fish, you know.
But the thing is, when Earl's responding, he doesn't give a fuck about any of that. He's like, "Bro, I don't care about making experimental music. That shit. I want to make music that I like with my friends. I don't care about having that title or anything."
I've actually never heard any like modern artists be like, I make experimental music, like Woods or any of them. I've not really said that. No. I've heard like Elucid harken back to being inspired by rap.
Did he cut out for anyone else?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see this face he's stuck on as well?
GG's Mega.
All right, Mega, your thing cut out. You went.
You cut out.
I hear talking about rap.
Okay, I don't know what the last thing I said.
You're all cut out.
You're talking about Elucid, talking about his influences.
You know, he was talking about it comes from the psychedelic tradition and other Black genre traditions. And when we talk about some of the content that Earl talks about, it comes from the Black radical literary tradition and in the poetic tradition. And so those are elements that are indeed experimental and radical in certain ways because they're not exactly typical within the landscape. You know, To Pimp a Butterfly has some wildly experimental songs in comparison to everybody else in genre, but you know, in order to functionally to function properly and have the discourse, we have to understand that it's like there's an inherent split that allows somebody to kind of be like Peggy and cheat performatively and to disavow certain underlying gestures to be performatively espousing what he feels is right. And sometimes the only truly subversive thing to do when confronted by that is to just take people at their word and say, okay, you're more experimental then. And it's fine that it's like that. I think one of the things that I just didn't really care for in terms of the topic was the kind of discussion seemed to leave out all of the reasons why the term experimental was created in the first place and why these genres were important in the first place. Is there a wind chime going on in the background? Is that you?
Yeah, my bad. I can take it down.
No, it's fine. I just hear it.
I was just enjoying the wind chime.
It's fine.
It's good. It's good. Okay,
it's a perfectly normal indoor wind chime. I don't see what the problem is.
Let me cook.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like you to me, and I think it's like an important thing because in general hip hop discourse, the genre is like largely neglected when it comes to serious historical, philosophical, and radical discourse when it comes to discussing hip hop. We have that happen a lot more with other genres. You even have it happen with like lo-fi music. I just read a book last year about lo-fi music and its impact and things. And it's like, like hip hop is somehow seen like as the bastard child, and there's probably a lot of material reasons for that shit. But when it comes to experimental hip hop, man, there are cats who were doing experiments, intentionally calling their shit that, and it was important and it had a purpose, and that was not something that is divorced from politics at all. And the shit that Peggy's talking about is divorced from everything other. It seems to only be centered on this like self-aggrandizing idea of what is or what isn't experimental, and not like the historical element.
Okay, you might want to take the time down.
Okay, well, I got it. Steve, you put your hand up earlier. What were you going to say?
Yeah. There are 3 fairly quick points I just wanted to make note of. So I think that it's sort of a shame that he's on this platform right now. I'm sure it's all intentional for publicity's sake, but in terms of like us actually like examining it, this is probably one of the least experimental things I've ever heard from him, and I'm sure that's not new. Plenty of people are saying that, but we're talking about nu metal, and there's absolutely nothing experimental about hip hop. I mean, nu metal is pretty much just hip hop inspired shitty rock. I mean, when it comes down to it, that's pretty much all it is. So you bring that element into hip hop is nothing new. Like look at the Judgment Night soundtrack. Classic example of the rap rock mixture, and it only got worse from there. Like this isn't something that they
don't know that movie Unsung.
Yeah, I know.
Brilliant point as always, Steve.
Yeah, thanks.
You look like a tennis player.
The other point is that in my opinion, if we're talking formula equals the lack of experimentation, a truly experimental album is probably going to sound pretty bad, because this is brand new territory that you haven't had time to perfect or really, devise a formula for. So like, you can just bring something new to the table that's not necessarily going to be, worked through yet. And this sounds like something you want to touch on, Kosey, but I'm just going to touch on one other point real quick. In other genres of art or, other means of art, pop culture does not mean that you can't be experimental. Like if we look at the art world, especially the 80s, Basquiat, Warhol, or even further back, Dali, these were mainstream artists that were ahead of the curve, experimenting with things. And they were, even at that time, which we think about artists like dying penniless and alone, but at that time they were at the height of fame. This is a different world though. But those people were experimenting, and they were the number ones in their fields. So that's not exclusive. You can experiment. You can be on top of the charts, so to speak. It's just a different world. This is music, which is a little bit more, for the people, a little bit more accessible, just overall. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was recently. The What Had Happened Was podcast with Open Mike Eagle. I was recently tapping into the the LP season, just because I'm doing my thing, and I'm trying to find just interviews of people talking about experimental rap, or as it was like abstract, yada yada, how it came to be, in a sense. And that's a lot of the thing that like LP was getting on and saying during his thing on the like you require that original framework to experiment from and to diverge from. Like he was saying, like whenever he'd be freestyling with people, and he's freestyling with people who like rap as it is, you know, who are enjoying like Run DMC and the people like that kind of stuff. And he as a artist who is trying to experiment and trying to grow into a new like lane of sorts, he's throwing in a few things that are a little bit different within this already well established framework. He as much as he is creating an extremely different style of rap at the time, it would seem an entirely like an entirely new thing. Not entirely new thing, but like kind of you get what I'm saying. Like as much as he's creating something that is experimental, growth, yeah. It is still deeply tied to the tradition it comes from. And all of this stuff is, you know, like you could say like Peggy is extremely experimental, but you would still be able to trace the tradition of people doing what he is doing and doing stuff that he's doing to a lesser extent, and that he is taking the formula form of and diverging from there. You know, that's kind of it's brilliant. Yeah.
Your audio cut out?
My audio cut out? Fuck.
I heard it was fine for me. So yeah.
You learn the foundation. It's just like in breaking. You learn foundation and then you break it. And hip hop music does not have standards, insofar as the only standards that we used to have were the break. If you were a producer back in the day, you knew every break, you knew all the records that had the good breaks, and you did that. And then you know, there's been it's 50 years of hip hop, and we've had progression since then, but it always is a kind of like the progression of these styles takes some time, and making sure to understand the lineage of where you come from is more important than Peggy self-aggrandizing and making it seem as though what he's doing, just because it is not popular or there's not many people aping his style, whereas there's a lot of incestuous type of music making in the underground scene right now. Just because nobody's copying you in that way that is really blowing up doesn't mean that you are the fucking Dexter's Laboratory nigga of the whole shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Trey, did you want to go? Well, I don't know. You're making a face at me.
I mean,
all right, Steve, you
saying.
go.
Just real quick. Yeah, just piggybacking off of what Mega was saying. You can hear something that sounds crazy and truly original, but it's more than likely just tiny baby steps away from something else that person was listening to, rather than like they created this entire new world for it. I think most things are probably like that. Usually, like, there isn't an individual that doesn't get inspiration from something else and kind of turn it a little bit to make it their own way. It's just that you aren't privy to that world necessarily. You're coming in as a listener from somewhere else.
Yeah. It's like what, like the LP thing. He even said like, "Oh, I was just listening to different music than these guys." Like a lot of his inspiration was just from a completely separate spot than the jazz and soul that people were taking from at the time where he made Fun Crusher Plus. Like that's just how it happened. Like he's making stuff on different things. Like his process, he never really describes it as him like a lightning bolt strikes him from the sky and he's suddenly an entirely new hip hop person, you know? It's like it is that iterative, slow, influential process. Yeah. Trey, what you saying?
I just think to your LP point, the thing I've always admired about LP is that not as much with the experimentation, but like always how he always framed that within the context of just being an independent artist and having more control of his work. That's what I always appreciated the most about LP. And I think that context is missed when you come later down the road, and the term experimental is kind of glorified in a way where you described it perfectly, like a lightning bolt strikes from the sky, and then Mike made his magnum opus, and then now little Johnny from Twitter wants to come down and try to pretend to be Mike. And that's not you, bro. Yeah. That's not you. That's not your character.
It's like when folk are always arguing like, oh, did Earl influence Mike or did Mike influence? It's like, man, you guys don't understand how like learning and becoming a musician works. There's such a disconnect between like how you create and become a person who has an original sound and how you interact with musicians who are doing similar things to you. Like there's a constant stream of influence moving you in the direction that you're going in, you know. It's not like
you have to let that form authentically.
Yeah,
I think that goes perfectly into Unsung's topic.
Oh shit, there goes TREDOES transitions.
Yeah,
segue Trey. I don't have the soundboard, but yeah, exactly.
So, Steve, take it away.
Steve, this yes, your turn.
So yeah, I just think it's funny. I was thinking about when I first started rapping and recording, probably either the year that Kosey and Trey were born, or maybe a little bit before that.
2003.
That's like prehistoric.
Yeah, 2002, 2003. So, and obviously,
that's before dinosaurs.
That was wild. Yeah, no, he was friends with T-Rexes, bro.
I grew up listening.
Nah, y'all little niggas, man. Yeah, I refuse to listen to anybody talk about anything if they were born after 9/11. Like, don't let them do that to you.
That's fair, bro. That's fair. I'm just
Playboy Cardi wasn't even out yet, bro.
It's hard enough for me to try to focus in here. So I just listen to myself. I don't pay attention to anything else. I
just want to say, UNSUNG, you have an amazing podcast voice. And you sound so super serious that I feel like we're amateur hour right now.
That makes me feel good because I was worried I was going to be too goofy for the podcast, but I don't feel goofy at all. Like, I'm just not making us look immature. Right now,
Yeah, no, it's early in the morning, man. You ain't even had your coffee yet.
I'm chilling, and I'm the drunk one. Like, what's going on here? I'm chilling.
You're always serious, bro.
Yeah. That's not true.
I know, but I just want to. It's funnier to lie.
Okay. Yeah,
Shout rage baiting, bro.
You sound serious when you talk sometimes, Mega.
Yeah. Sometimes, occasionally.
Well, it's like, I mean, I could joke more about the topic and shit, but it's like,
no, this is serious hip hop.
Yeah, this is very serious.
We're splitting, the talking points between four people. I'm trying not to interrupt or talk over people. So it's like, when I want to toss a joke in, it's fucking like, oh man, let me just wait. And then Trey transitions into the next topic before I get to get my shit off.
Oh, how dare he!
I know you ain't talking. We almost an hour on one topic.
I had a clean 5-minute, stand-up set that I was about to get into right there.
Hey, I mean, you can always stand-up set and then go to Steve later, man. We go all the time.
I think that could be its own topic.
Mega stand-up hour, and we sit around.
No. Just the idea of like when you broach topics, you do it very democratically, where people raise their hands and everything. But yeah, you have that missed opportunity sometimes to really shoot something good off. So like, how do you offset that?
Oh my gosh.
I think that's a good approach to just even having the conversation.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that a lot. Like specifically our Caltrops episode, I had so much to say that I didn't say. And I think about it all the time.
Sometimes the opportunity passes you up.
Yeah, that's it. It just happened. It moved on. It is too late. Whatever.
Okay.
And Caltrops called us stupid. He said, "You stupid ass podcast, bro."
Well, hopefully I don't get dragged down.
This entire tangent happened because you guys were surprised that somebody was alive in 2003.
He was arguing with Abraham Lincoln. That's not our fault.
hating on the OGs.
That nigga wasn't there when America was created, bro.
This shit at all. I wasn't even experimenting this shit at all. It was because of us.
Fetty Wap wasn't even out, bro.
Well, this is gonna sound even worse then. So when I was in college back in 2002, I came from middle school where Nothing But a G Thing came out, The Chronic, and things like that. So, and I went to a very low population white middle school, so it was I was in the minority there. Not to say like I get your pain. Not to say that at all.
Steve comes in the cheeky, bro. It gets serious, man.
I mean, like in middle school years, you feel very influenced by your surroundings, your peers. You want to fit in. It's the worst time probably in life, right? So like, hey, your body's changing, like all these terrible things are happening. You feel super insecure. So I was like rocking the Carl Kanai hoodies, the knockoffs and things like that, the Fila, the Boss jeans, and so when I started listening to hip hop, there was a voice that you would do when you rap things, and if you're pretending to like freestyle and stuff like that. So a little bit of that carries on when you first actually start to write and record. There's this accent that you kind of, some people do, some people don't. And it's more interesting when that breaks. If you do get more comfortable in your own surroundings, in your own shoes, using your own voice. And I just think that's sort of interesting. And that goes along with persona, how you write about things, how you talk about things in your own life versus when you're first starting out, kind of pretending, trying to be part of a world that you're very much not part of yet, or ever will be. And I think it's interesting with artists like that me and Mega sort of grew up listening to in our 20s, Idea, Slug, some of these people who kind of did that, but were very white, very Midwestern sounding. A lot of that was the, like if you had syllables, sometimes they had an extra syllable to them, like ear, that it's just that very white sound. So they went like hard in the opposite direction. They weren't really necessarily trying to be something they weren't in terms of accent, but yeah, it's a weird place. It's a weird place, and it's not just white rappers necessarily either. You have people like Bus Driver, Bruiser Wolf, for instance, who are just straight up cartoon characters when they rap. It's not just trying to be like something you're not, but these people are trying to create a persona. This is a character. And it's just interesting when those worlds collide, when you actually have to be personal, when you have to be more yourself. Like, where does one end and the other begin? That's I wanted to talk about.
He wants to go first.
I can piggyback off of that just to kind of place in like the historical context as well. This is like in our 20s. I think Unsung is probably about 2 years older than me. Were you born in like 81?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I assume based upon the email you sent me. But I'm an 83 kid, and at that time, like, things were very regional. Fuck. It wasn't my business. Shut the fuck up in 2024. No, like things were very regional for us back then too. And so, if you were in California and trying to sound like an East Coast rapper, you were very clearly, people were noticing that about you.
Right.
If you try to be inauthentic and do those things, people notice those things about you. Whereas like online slang and things are a bit more homogenous now. And also things like black scent and those type of things, like it was one of like the things in hip hop to do to come across as tough. Yeah. And the way that a lot of us figured out how to do that was copying people that we thought were fucking tough.
Right.
And back then, Beavis and Butthead were not fucking tough. South Park was not fucking tough.
Oh, I was like, what?
They're not. Shit wasn't tough. Like a lot of the places that we got, what was tough came from like gangster movies. That's why like so many Jay-Z albums got, okay, I'm reloaded. It's like, bro, that's not your culture at all. You're not fucking Scarface from Miami.
No, that's a good point too.
Usano. Yeah. It's like, so we were just trying to pick up all these things on how to emote the idea that we're not to be fucked with and we're supposed to be cool, and this is how you have to carry yourself. And there was also cross-cut, especially for me in my experience, like you were also supposed to be original as fuck if you can be, and people will call you out if you're a biter. Like you could not bite, you could not copy, you could not fucking like dress the same as somebody else in my town. Like you had to have all your own things, otherwise you were a toy, you were a fucking buster, you're a mark, you're not a part of this shit. And like I've seen over the last couple of decades the discourse about black scent, and I actually think that some of those things are important to discuss because ultimately the thing that a lot of times the thing we're discussing when it comes to cultural appropriation is not so much whether or not a person can do those things, but whether or not that person is using those things for profit and selling those things as some type of persona. Because I grew up, I mean, of course, like. But usually it's for somebody to try to get over and profit, especially in today's day and age. I'm not going to say neoliberal because then people are going to have to take a shot. That's a new game. But the thing is, like I grew up and I moved around from California to Hawaii to Texas to, I had cousins in New York and stuff. And I've been around multicultural people all the time. As soon as I'm talking to a West Coast person and I'm like a little bit feeling good at home, I get hella Westy with my voice again. Soon as I'm talking to a Hawaiian person, speaking pidgin, I get hella pidgin with it. In Texas, I get a little bit of a way too. With East Coast cats, I get a little bit of a way too. And it's not me doing a black accent or an accent or anything. That's just how I learn how to assimilate within cultures and how to meet people where they were.
Yeah.
And so like with Aquafina, I don't know her life. I don't know what she did. And I don't blame her for dropping the so-called black scent or whatever, because obviously she was able to do some. I don't know enough about her to care about that. The thing about it is that everybody, and like Unsung was saying, is like everybody is a little bit subject to the entire world and not their necessarily their community or their their parents or their town nowadays. And when you're a kid, you like, no matter how good your parents are, man, Nirvana is going to get in, Cardi B is going to get in, all these people are going to get in, and they're going to influence you to think about how you want to be as a person. And that's why you see like little like kids in Vancouver and fucking, all over the place, like white kids, all types of kids doing the roadman thing, doing the Crody thing. It's because they're highly colonized and living their lives thinking that their persona must meet the criteria of what they see online. And it's weird because like we mentioned like a bus driver or Bruiser Wolf is like, no, it's like hip hop has always been a safe space for originality if you were dope, and you were allowed to be a regular white dude as long as you weren't transgressing and you had all the pathos and ethics shit. Like I was in Cali in all these years, it's like we never white boyed anybody unless they had to be white boyed for being super white. If you were a dope white cat in the community, if you were hip hop at that time in the community, we already knew you were kind of a part of it. What's up, dude? How you doing? It's like, oh, you make beats? What's up? Homies. And now it's become something different. And now accent, and trying to develop who you are is really strange because everything is a simulacrum. Everything is kind of like this hyper reality of where you're supposed to exist. And it's focused so much on the individual, but everybody's trying to be like something that is not themselves, like everything other than where they're at, completely colonized by media.
Whoa.
Go on, Trey.
To Mega's point, to piggyback off of Mega's point, colonized by media. I think that's a good point. I think I always love to think about this. You see, we can also do the age thing. I was born, me and Co were born in the 21st century. Yeah. After the invention of the light bulb. Damn. And we
LED.
This nigga Trey a problem, bro.
LED, yeah. You guys were born after the LED.
No,
power saving ass.
You remember walking around with candles and trays and shit.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
One of my favorite white boy songs is called "The Candle" from Deep Puddle Dynamics.
That's a good ass song, bro.
White with candles.
No, it's like the Old Testament or like Genesis. Like me and Co were born, and then God was like,
let
"Let there
be
light." Anyways, me and Co, we grew up in the internet age, and I always think about this, how interesting this is. Just the amalgamation of shit that you pick up on just by virtue of that. Because like I'm raised in the South. I grew up around my Southern parents. I go to school, and then we got like a lot of kids from Florida, so I picked up from a lot of Florida shit there. Then you get on the internet, and then I get in gaming communities, and I pick up a lot of gaming lingo. And then I get like a lot of gay friends, and now I got gay lingo and shit like that, and it just stacks up. And then I'm in anime communities, and now I'm using anime lingo. And I think the amalgamation of that and like how that's expressed with like more contemporary artists is always interesting to me. I think like how people. I don't know how people can authentically blend that together and try to find a way to express that. I always find that interesting. And
too late for y'all.
I know a lot of shit like that, but it's also like, some people. It's also to like the point we talked about before, where like some people like grow up in like rap and they start talking about like fucking. Is it 2%? Why did I forget what it is? 5% of shit.
Yeah.
They talk about 5% of shit. 2%. And they picked up on that.
This nigga don't know nothing. Yeah. Well,
those are mega people.
But no, that's a really good point that kind of leads into what I wanted to say immediately is like, you guys hear my voice, like from you guys' perspective, this is a very British voice. I'm doing the British thing. From British people's perspective, I've got an American tinge like accent to me because I grew up hella on YouTube. What I'm saying, like I was going to my dad's every weekend and I wasn't really like being monitored, so I was just in my room watching fucking Dashi on my fucking BlackBerry tablet and shit, and I'm learning how to speak through these niggas, bro. I'm telling you, Corey Kenshin and them, like those people informed my language and how I speak today, and now I'm like you can hear it in my voice. So a lot of people are making the assumption that I've got like an American thing to me, and it's like the internet has completely changed how your own identity as someone within your community and someone with your voice who as an individual operates and is created, you know. With me, like when I first started rapping, I was rapping with an American voice, a very American accent a lot, you know what I mean, and that was just how I was operating and growing and learning how to do it, because that's who the people I was listening to. I was listening to a lot of American rap. I wasn't really too engaged in grime at the time. Now I'm a lot more engaged in the actual like UK rap now, but at the time I wasn't really. I was talking to my friends. I was rapping on one of his tracks, and he's like, "Why'd you always rap with an American accent?" And I was like, "Oh, you know what? That's a good question, you know." That's a good question, you know. And then I slowly switch up from there, and I keep going. And then like the reason why rap voice exists is because like when I first started rapping, I wasn't really using my own voice. You know, I was doing a whole other thing. So like that, yeah, that's what we do. Shout out Rap Voice by Kosey. Go listen to that shit right now. Yeah, but that's like kind of the growth of it is so like fragmented now in the internet age, where it's like there's not the like obviously it's always been a thing of like the media you consume will influence how you talk and who you want to be and yada yada yada. But I think in an age where I think it's even easier to be engaged in media than it is to be engaged with people, it's like the places where that inspiration comes from is like it can be so much farther than you and so much more frequently in your life, you know. I'm hearing regular niggas speak about playing some fucking Happy Wheels and shit. Like that's how just regular people talk. Like it's not like hearing a nigga rap. It's a completely different thing, bro.
But also I think it's interesting how like for all those influences, at least for me, when I first like attempted to rap or write a rap, I always defaulted to this like tough guy persona type shit, and I think that's funny how rap can,
nigga, we know you ain't tough.
Kind of universalize that. I don't think I rap tough anymore. I think I just rap angry now. That's my opinion. But I think that's interesting how like that's very common. How like for all your influences, the moment you try to rap, you default to like this fucking East Coast fucking tough guy persona.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the sort of the catalyst that a lot of people, especially that grew up in the 80s and 90s, you know, that got them into it was they were listening to people talk about how great of a rapper they were. And a lot of times that was like your whole album. You might have one soft track where you talk about real shit, but most of the time, like it's that. And so to think about somebody writing their very first rap song about how great of a rapper they are, you know, for the first time
I did that same shit.
We're putting pen to paper, like that's absurd. Like we think about that right now, that's absolutely insane, but that happens for a lot of people. And to just go back real quick to what Mega was saying, with the Midwest rap scene, you know, that was acceptable that they did the like super white accent because they created a scene around that. They created their own scene. If those people would have just been in New York or East Coast, that probably wouldn't have flown as well, you know, and they were trying to come up through that. And somebody posted recently, and I think it was meant to be funny, that, you know, like white rappers are held under this microscope, or if it wasn't, it was super racist and, you know, unknowledgeable. But I will say when I first started rapping, it was a little bit more true, especially if you're going to like open mic nights. I started rapping in Philly. Neo Soul was huge at the time. You go into like the New Eurekan up in New York, and like, yeah, you probably as a white rapper trying to do spoken word poetry, things like that at that time, 99, 2000, as you would today. And that's just because of, you know, fan base. Like, to be honest, back then, you go to a hip hop show and it's like 90% white kids. and it's honestly, I haven't been to a hip hop show probably 15, 20 years, so I can't really say
white kids.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured.
Actually, it depends.
That's what I figured.
Like if you go down south, it's a little more diverse, but yeah, it's still hella white people.
Wait, sorry, quick question. There's no like rap shows you're interested in around you at all for 15 years?
I mean, that might be an exaggeration.
Okay, well,
I am going to see Earl and Mike, which you all know.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you like that newfangled Lucky music?
Yeah, well, that's the music that young folks are making.
It's not experimental enough. But I think another interesting point is like to go even further with the topic, just philosophically, who are we as artists? Yeah. Let's tackle that in the middle of the combo and see where it goes from there. See how I can get myself out of this. Philosophically, who are we as individuals, as artists in the scene, and are you strictly a result of your influences?
How am I not myself? And he's staring in the mirror, and how am I not myself?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, exactly. What am I doing that's not like me?
How am I not me? Yeah, isn't everything me?
It's like the Jutsu guys where are you the strongest because you're Gojo? Or are you
no, it's not like that at all. It's like not like anime at all. It's not like that at all. No, it's like I Heart Huckabee.
Then shut the fuck up in 2020.
It's not like that at all.
What's that one Pharrell line? It's like, how could they possibly become anything other than what was demonstrated in front of them? You know what I mean? Like the way that you interact with the world becomes you. You know,
right?
And yeah, I've lost it. It's gone. Never mind. Someone else go.
Also, there's the idea of like, you know, okay, you try to be more like yourself in your art because that's what art is. It's you trying to portray or like get something across that's uniquely you or has to do with your history. But what about the other elements? Like, and that's something that I struggled with because everything I wrote was so serious for such a long time. And, you know, my last album about, you know, losing my dad was very serious. But my persona, as you all probably know, is not like that at all. Like who I am is very casual, is very jokey, more like how I am on my podcast. But it's like, how do you combine these things and actually still have it sound good? How do you have it still sound like you? And that's one of the things that I struggle with.
I think that, especially in the underground space, there's always been a lot more elbow room for that type of expression compared to mainstream hip hop. Like,
for sure.
If you go back to most 90s albums, just like you were saying, UNSUNG, there's not vulnerable songs. Like Biggie's, what is it? Suicidal tendencies, suicidal thoughts. Is that it? It's like one of the first times you ever hear a rapper talk about like, I'm really thinking about killing myself. And it was kind of a thing. And then, you know, there was a whole kind of movement that happened where like emo rap was demonized. And what they considered emo rap was not even what people considered emo in 2013. What they considered emo rap was guys like Slug, who were not just rapping about being the best rapper. They were talking about life experiences and what it meant to, you know, have friends that were lost by fucking, you know, drug overdoses and talking about like regular, everyday human things. And like for me, one of like the thing that lets me know if a person is kind of like authentic in a way, and I'm not saying this is like the bar, but like if you talk, if like when I'm talking to you guys about theory, I kind of do a kind of like, I'm being serious, so I'm not I'm trying to make it so it's accessible to like a classroom. But the way that I talk to my mom and the way I talk to my wife and my daughter is a lot more like not code switch. Like my mom, if your mother and your family knows you, if you can be like, if your rap personality is very similar to your what your family sees, I don't think that you really tripping there. Like I think it's fine. Like I'm that is an authentic thing for me. My mom knows. I'll be like, nah, this bitch is crazy, mom. Like I don't even know what the fuck is like. I talk to my mom kind of crazy, but that's just who I am, how I grew up. And if Aquafina is being blackety black, and around her mom she's not allowed to do that, then you're probably set tripping. You probably
big Aquafina fan over here, huh?
You're probably fessing. I don't ever try to make it seem like I'm fucking up for like an Asian people. Why you jujitsu kaisen over here?
It's kind of like bro. It's kind of like Gojo.
Chill.
I've been real nice to Trey lately, but we get away from him.
Mega loves saying he be nice to Trey.
Episode 234 of Dragon Ball Z.
Well, I'm gonna say something I think we can all agree with is that Open Mike Eagle probably does the best when it comes to like being himself, or if we want to argue for the sake of arguing, we could do that too, Trey. You know, he does the best in terms of just like getting his sense of humor out there, getting his personality out there, and also just like, you know, he has the skills to back things up. So if he does say something, if he chooses to, you kind of believe him because he's sort of a jack of all trades.
But even credit for saying he's the most postmodern MC.
Like, we don't know, niggas don't know what that means.
Nobody knows what that means, but you.
Even him when he's watching the video, he was like, I don't know what that means. Is it derogatory? Like I was like, no, but like
brackets positive, bro.
I'd like to nominate Kill Vanguard for runner-up for that title.
Yeah, I would wait before. Yeah, no, Call God is awesome. I was gonna quickly say it's like, but even within that, what I think is interesting is like Open Mike Eagle within the being himself thing is still doing a lot of character work. He's still doing a lot of like creating worlds and stuff like that. Like he's like even within the authentic self that he's created is still okay, that's fine. It's still. We don't need Mega. Okay, word. Still recording? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, cool. Hopefully he comes back. Even within that like authentic self that Open Mike Eagle portrays, he's still like he still creates these worlds where he's like saying what like his co-worker's fucking Superman or some shit, and he's like he'll create like an abstraction of himself still to within the authentic and real version that he is still portraying, you know? That was an awful sentence. That was the worst sentence I think anyone's ever said in the history of sentences. Check that out.
Worse sentences.
Trey, name one worse sentence.
If you rap about something you haven't done, I'm not into it.
No, I mean it's
yeah. No.
Yeah, no, I mean it's interesting because I think there are a lot of rappers who are very literal who I enjoy a lot. I would say like Mike, for instance, like his expression of grief, while it does like obviously use like metaphor and stuff, he still is very like matter of fact in the emotions he's trying to portray. And I would say that's a very Mike, all caps by the way, is very like personable and like of him. You know, I don't think that there's like an unauthenticness to that, but I do think it's interesting that someone who I would consider as quite authentic, much of their work is shrouded in metaphor, you know, like Open Mike Eagle.
If you take somebody like Serengeti, for instance, I think that he's very just real. Even though he created an entire character called Kenny.
A universe, bro. A
multiple character, yeah.
He's just autistic.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah.
Authentic.
Tell me he's not autistic. Tell me
no,
right
now. I agree. Just the way Steve reacted to that was funny to me. Sorry.
Yeah. I do not know if he's autistic or not.
This is why I like Ajay, because Ajay seems like he has like a special interest and is ruining his life, and I'm like, bro, that's so real.
Yeah, no, I get it.
To back off this topic,
we just keep on cutting each other off a lot this episode.
We're having a good time, unfortunately.
Steve, did you want to continue?
No, you're fine. You're fine. I think we squeezed everything we could out of there, unless you folks.
I just wanted to say, just for personal example, I hate recording, and I feel like my heart isn't in it. That's my least favorite shit. So now I don't record unless I feel the exact emotion of what I wrote. Because sometimes I'll write something, then I'll record it, and I'm not in that mood anymore. And I'm like, I can't record unless I'm back in that mood. But I also feel like I am most authentic when I'm writing from a negative place, and I don't really enjoy that about myself. But like that's just when I feel like I get the most out of my expression, which is why I like Ko's music so much. Because I feel like she captures herself so well in that music and like captures the nuances of it.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted. Yeah, I wanted to definitely add to it being like, I just want to explain like my approach, I guess. I don't know if that's too fucking like self-braggadocious or whatever. What's the word?
What a fucking narcissist.
That's a little bit, but go. I'll allow it.
Fucking narcissist.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you hear my.
He brought up his music first.
You know what it is? I'm just saying, like, you can hear the joy that I am and do in my art, and I feel like that's a really important part of it. But there's still a performance there. You hear me giggling on the track, and it's like, I don't know, what the fuck was I giggling at? Sometimes I'm actually giggling. Sometimes I'm actually laughing. Sometimes I'm actually laughing while recording. I just find something I did funny. But I'm still gonna, as a musician, as an artist, take where I was laughing and be like, okay, maybe this would sound better at the beginning of the song. You know, like I'd be moving around that shit. I'd be performing. You know, there's still an element of like, how can I perform my personality to you? That is a intrinsic part of this. Yeah, I'm just playing my role, Trey. I'm just playing my role.
The most awful thing I can imagine is like just being in a really shitty mood that day and being like, well, this part I have to giggle on. It's like, I'm not buying that. I do not believe that.
You know, that's next up. Excerpts of Black Sadness, bro. That's the next one. I'm gonna just be like,
forced happiness.
Yeah, on this one I gotta cry. I was thinking that a lot. Yeah, you know, You by Kendrick Lamar.
Excerpts of Afro pessimism. This nigga off. Cinema.
I was thinking recently, you know, You by Kendrick Lamar. I'm wondering, like, how was he feeling when he was making that song? Was he having a good day and then walked into the studio and was like, loving this complicated? Or was he like, okay, I gotta get in the sad mood, I gotta get mad serious about this? Or was he like, I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like that type of performance is still authentic to me. Like, it's obviously coming from a very real place and emotion, but maybe at that exact moment he wasn't necessarily feeling like
that's what makes it so good, because you're like, damn, I feel like I am in the moment with this nigga in the hotel room fucked up.
Yeah, now we gotta start talking about whether actors are authentic or not. What is Zendaya flirting with what's his name? The Batman guy. Is Zendaya flirting with the Batman guy?
What's his name? Damn.
Does it mean that she's cheating on Tom Holland?
Yeah.
Think about it. Are they being authentic? Crazy, bro. Crazy.
I was okay when this conversation was like deeply philosophical, but now that it's taking a turn into like trying to figure out like psyches, I'm just like, oh my god. Like, Robert Pattinson is undoubtedly cooler.
Take it away.
Than Tom Holland.
Hey,
Come on.
Hey,
she's obviously trying to fuck this
was
nigga, man.
purposeful.
Meg, go ahead.
Meg, I think your mic might be off. Meg, I think your mic's off.
Oh yeah,
really?
Your mic's definitely off. Yeah.
Hate y'all.
Nah, boo.
What's the third topic, by the way?
Trey's gonna do his thing. He's gonna transition. Don't worry about it.
Is it still off?
Low key.
It sounds like you got a couple socks on it. That's all.
Yeah, you got hella socks in the car.
Wait, say something now, Mega.
Oh, hold on.
Wait, say something while the mic in front of your mouth, dude. Like, move the mic away from you and speak. Okay, mic's on.
Yeah, mic's on.
Oh, well, what's the issue then?
It just sounds different. I don't know, something changed.
You're
good. The quality has disappeared.
You're still
a little high in it.
You don't sound as
beautiful as before.
Yeah, high end out of it.
The people were like using your voice as ASMR, and now it's all low end. It's just groggy, man. They're not happy anymore.
It's all mid.
I'll EQ your voice on post-production. I'll EQ your voice.
Mid. What's up with the minutes is anti-mid, bro. We only do high stuff here, bro.
I'll leave you alone.
I love spamming.
Better?
I love spamming the less low, more mid. That's my
better?
shit.
No?
Yeah, we fuck with you.
You sound good. You sound good, bro.
We fuck with you, twin.
You know, you guys really damaged a lot of my confidence in this last 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh, bro.
Oh, sorry, man. We deeply apologize for our transgressions.
No, it's okay. I don't need to hear it. I'll deal with it. I like to lick my wounds away from. You know what I mean? I'm just go to the forest tonight. Just lick my wounds and figure it out.
In the forest.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's normal actually. My bad. Sorry for
your
question. No, that's my bad.
It's like I'm not going to go to the tundra. Like I've only got a certain type of biosphere around me right now. You know?
Yeah. True. You can't like hop off to the mountain. Actually, there are mountains around, right? You could find a mountain.
Yes.
Yeah. Fine. Give yourself like a few hours. You could find a mountain. Go climb a mountain, bro. That's fire. I'm
no longer going to be serious on this podcast whatsoever. I've reduced myself to I'm only going to blabber and talk gibberish.
Character True Omega are coming to the stage.
In my experience in TVs and movies, Japanese forests are very dangerous places.
Oh yeah.
Well, then Logan Paul found that out.
That's bad, Trey. That's bad.
That's for the new gen. That's for the young kids out there.
Yeah, old heads confused, bro. They're lost.
Well, listen, Mega. If I was in a Japanese forest and I had to pick between saving you or Ko, I would probably save Ko.
I would save Ko too. The youth.
Because this or that.
What?
This is the game show. This is the game show. This is the game show. Bro, you fucking up my. Wait. I got it.
I have a daughter.
What's it supposed to be?
Daughter.
Yeah, I don't remember anything that just happened. Like, I really don't.
No, it's cool.
Bring up the this or that graphic again for the people.
I think what you did, like your presence, like kind of subdued like the chaos of the podcast, and like we're slowly unlocking it over the course of the podcast.
You know, we should have put some type of betting lines on how many times I would say the N word on this episode. I think I've only said it once. You know, that is unusual.
What's that thing called? We gotta get on.
I'm below my nigga quota.
Polybet.
I'm below my
Polybet. Kalisha or whatever. I don't know. We gotta get our fucking parlays up, bro.
You know. Yeah,
you gotta get our parlays, bro.
I'm good.
It could be making real money.
Yeah, unsung is also below his nigga quota.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Let's keep it that way. Let's get
Nah, run that shit.
Let's switch this topic.
No.
Put on that black scent. Put on that black scent.
Listen.
We're talking like Aquafina. We get Shang-Chi.
That would be wrong in so many ways.
Listen. So my topic is this or that. Now you see 30 minutes of me being groggy. I scrambled together two diametric, maybe opposing, maybe they have something in common, but I lined them up, maybe in levels of controversy, who knows? But I want to get the panel's thoughts on these selections.
Mm-hmm.
So
did you take into consideration like me and Unsung? Are you going to do like a Sage Francis or Slug type of joint?
I was going to, but like I couldn't think that long. But I do have something to cater to you guys. Don't
if you
worry.
put them down on there, I'd
cater to y'all.
I'd hit one of these.
I mean, I wanted to do like Playboy Cardi versus like fucking like Sada Baby or something, but like y'all wouldn't fuck with that. So
are those real people?
Yes. But to start off, we're very topical on this show. This or that.
You made a graphic for each one? Interesting.
Yes,
okay, word. Damn, you're a real working guy who works.
I put in effort over here, and in of the back and forth between JPEGMAFIA and Earl Sweatshirt. I wanted to know who do you guys prefer as artists? Are you guys big JPEGMAFIA fans? I'm a pretty decent JPEGMAFIA fan, but I gotta say, Earl rinses his nigga lyrically. I can't lie. He shits all on this nigga. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on that.
My first
Sweatshirt or JPEGMAFIA.
My first thing I like to say, very easily Earl Sweatshirt for me. However, I think people are very in the fallout of JPEGMAFIA deciding to continue to be the corniest nigga alive. It's causing people to forget that he's actually like really good at what he does. He's a brilliant artist. His production is fantastic. His rapping, while I think lyrically is very lacking, the energy and vibe he brings and like the way he enunciates and like puts his voice forward is brilliant, matches his production perfectly. I think the actual art he makes is so brilliant. I also don't listen to it much though. I don't listen to it much, but I feel like when I listen to it, I'm impressed to such a high degree very frequently by his work. And actually, Earl Sweatshirt, I would say he's got like 2 albums I like a lot. He's got 2 albums I love, and the rest of them I'm kind of uninterested by. Maybe I think I love.
I might be with you on that.
Yeah, the 2 Earl albums I loved astronomically more than I love any JPEGMAFIA albums. But I have JPEGMAFIA is basically like most of JPEGMAFIA's entire discography. I would have under those 2 Earl albums before I go to another Earl album.
Why am I getting
I think I have one JPEGMAFIA album that I think's probably, in my opinion, doper than any of the Earl albums. I think LP is amazing. I think LP is really good. And I don't know if I like or find it as any Earl project as interesting as that. Maybe some rap songs is like there, but like, I mean, look, if I have to do with this or that, I'm picking Earl for the Black radical tradition and lineage. But I've also seen Earl. I've seen Earl perform, and he's fucking not dope at the live performance. I've seen him perform twice, and I'm just like,
that's crazy.
Your raps are.
Yeah, but you got to consider
more effort in the live performances.
Mega saw L live when it was like I don't like shit era, you know?
No, but I also saw him live like last year. Like, yeah, like it was, I mean, I saw him live like last year or the year before. It's like it was better last year, the year before, but man, the sub like the in 2000, I have the poster up. It's fucking 2016
right there
is when I saw him, and it was just like ugh. Not a great performance. Not a great performance. Like I have him up there with Dell as being like disappointing performer for me. And Dell was just drunk as fuck. At least there's an excuse. Earl was just like muddy.
I feel like Earl always puts like way more energy into his live performances.
I wouldn't say
from what I've seen. I haven't seen him live.
That's a new thing.
My God, if that's not true, I'm gonna be so disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that you don't like. I was like post some rap songs delivery. You don't like how he be approaching the beats at all.
The sleeping bag.
Yeah. Voya Dyer. Is it Voya Dyer? How you pronounce that? Voya Dyer.
Always forget about that.
Don't take my word.
The way he's rapping on Voya Dyer.
It probably is.
Yeah, I don't like Voya Dyer. And that's the thing. Peggy, he pops on any joint of his, and he's always delivering with a certain amount of energy that I feel like is working and creates an interesting, at least like soundscape. Whether there's a meaning there that you're gleaning that is like hitting you and being important to you is a different like sentence entirely. Yeah. But
what's your final answer? What's your final answer?
Oh, Sweatshirt.
Earl or JPEG, Steve?
I'm going now
from you.
Yeah. So Earl overall, Doris, some rap songs, and Live Laugh Love are definitely my favorite. I like the first. I like Huey on I Don't Like Shit. I think that's one of the best opening tracks of any hip hop album I've ever heard.
I agree.
Yeah, serious raps.
But I do think Peggy is way more interesting production wise than I don't really consider him to be a rapper, to be honest with you. I mean, I know he is, but I don't think of him in that realm. I think of him in the realm of
he's not an MC, he's not a lyricist.
Right.
He's not that type of performer.
I ain't never seen you in the John, bro. We only ever see you in the
not
John.
A word.
I also don't listen to him rap that often. Like Scaring the Hose and We Buy Diabetic Test Strips. That's what I know him from production wise. And I think that production is absolutely brilliant in every sense of the word.
Yeah, he's a better producer than Earl.
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Does Earl produce?
That's a hot take.
I find
not his recent stuff as much, but yeah.
Most of some rap songs is all.
I find it kind of difficult because we're talking about somebody who's like outwardly expressive, loud, boisterous, and huge versus somebody who's making essentially like headphone rap, like for the introspective. And that's a weird dichotomy to put together and try to figure it out. Like ultimately, I think
they can try. It's nice though.
I want to hear Peggy loud and I want to hear Earl on the headphones. If I have to pick one that happens more often, I more often have my headphones on because I live in a walkable city and I'm not driving in a car. I'm on the train all the time. I'm picking Earl for that reason. And also Earl has Earl has said some deeply profound things that are so much more like relevant to like what I think is important than anything that Peggy has said. And Peggy is also like gestured and been a part of a lot of fuck shit too. But Hazard Duty Pay, I don't know.
Crazy.
Man. Like if it's versus, like if it's both of them on a verses in front of like Timberland and Swiss Beats and shit, like Hazard Duty Pay fucking washes like the vibes and the hypeness of anything in Earl's catalog. I mean, that's just what it is. It's just what it is. Like Peggy is so much more fun than Earl.
Yeah.
I picture Earl recording all his albums sitting on the couch.
I picture him being in a super fucking high lackadaisical phase, like just like kind of like half out of it, like you know, like I imagine you speak to him and shit, like he's really high and he's just like, you know, you communicate with him, but he's probably a fucking like he seems like a habitual stoner. And like, you know, if any of you have been around an habitual stoner, it's like it's interesting, it's funny and shit, but at the same time, it's like you don't have deep conversations with them all the time. You kind of just gotta chill. I'd rather be around somebody that's fucking drinking Mountain Dew sometimes. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit crazy.
Well,
okay. So that's
JPEGMAFIA on that Mountain Dew and yeah.
Man, fuck it. Not to
Mountain Dew or Earl Sweatshirt. Sorry.
Mountain Dew or fucking
I should just lag
198% THC. Yeah, it's crazy.
Chamomile.
I was gonna say, to contrast I do think JPEG Streaks are as a producer, but I always feel like his raps get like a little too disrespected. Like I feel like on Scared the Hoes, that nigga was like spitting crazy to me. He was rapping his ass off to me. I don't think he like says insanely profound things, but I think he has like a level of dexterity to his raps that like back up the production enough for it
it's
to
like
be
what people
enjoyable.
say about Kanye. It's what people say about Kanye. Like Kanye is not a really good rapper, but over his production, Kanye can do a vibe, bro. Like Bound 2, I don't even care for Kanye that much, but Bound 2 is fucking something about it works.
Yo, quick. Dexterity. I feel like I'm defining this word differently to you. Just dexterity just means you're like good at doing the thing, right? How are we defining dexterity?
I feel like there's like on a performing level. On a performing level, I think the way he performs his songs are like so on point, and the flows that he like lands on the music. I think it's really, I think it hits the mark.
Cool. Fair enough. Okay.
No. Let me go on. I want to prove this because Unsung is here. Unsung is here, and I've got Marvel Comic Card Series 2 from 1991.
Okay.
And they have a card. One of the things on their power level rankings is dexterity. So let me find the card for dexterity. I think it. Maybe they don't. Okay. But
yeah, I fucked with those cards.
But yeah, I have the entire set still. You know what I mean?
How many of there are those?
Like there's like 168, I think, including the hologram, or 170 including the holograms.
Trey got blurry, bro.
Yeah, I think I really like the 93 or 94 series a lot.
93 is okay. That's when they started coming out with what is it called? Marvel Masterpiece. The painted card.
The painted cards. Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of those.
Yeah. This is my favorite. Yeah.
Next up, this one's for all the geeks out there. Where is it? Here we go.
Stephen Hawking versus Carl Sagan.
Open Mike Eagle or Rap Forever.
Oh, this is tough.
And you've asking Steve this. Steve's about to go off. Steve's about to be like, well, that guy farted, and I hate it because of like.
That's my voice.
Close enough.
Can't replicate your voice.
She's got an American accent. She did it.
Well, Rory.
All right, Steve, you go first.
All right. Open Mike Eagle. But it's funny because they both kind of came from the same, like the Dorner versus Tukey mixtape, I want to say. The Hellfire Club. Yeah, that was the first time I really got into either one of them. And that was actually brilliant mixtape. But yeah, qualifiers, the Degrassi Picture Day, just like great use of comedy and voice and personality in the music. Open Mike Eagle does not strike me as someone with his head up his own ass, so I appreciate that. I don't want to get too much into things. This was a good question, though.
Especially you've been around the entire time I've been in a Rap Music Plug podcast Discord, and there have been a variety of conversations.
I think we need another Rory argument.
Rory's my friend, man. I'm friends with Rory. Sure. I like Open Mike Eagle. I also like, even before I was friends with Rory, I like what Rory does in a different way than Open Mike Eagle. Like I said, Open Mike Eagle is extremely postmodern to me, and I think that's good, and I think that's great, and I love his art. But I also kind of appreciate more what Rory's his perspective on art and what he does with it. I'm a Rory guy. I get why people don't like Rory. He's controversial. There's a lot of things that allegedly that have happened and fuck shit, but like I like that's my man. Like I can't like you asking me is like you asking me is like Memphis Bleak to fucking judge Jay-Z or 50 Cent. You know what I mean? Like I gotta go.
If I wasn't in the Secret House Discord and they were like, man, fuck Trey, I fucking hate this Trey guy. Would you defend me like you do, Roy?
Of course, bro. If you were out here, and if somebody was here and was like, "Yo, I know Trey, fuck Trey," I'll punch him in the face. Like, yeah, I'm surprised you don't know I'm that ignorant. I'm surprised you don't know I'm that ignorant. No, I am very ignorant.
I knew the answer. I was just fishing.
No, I'm very ignorant.
Oh, what's your answer?
That's mad difficult for me. Both of those are top 5 all time for me. Like those are two of the most like important rappers to what I do and how I operate in the world and how I like perceive of what like this underground rap thing is, you know, like they were my introduction to it. I'd say like I got into Blue, and then when I was getting into like artists back then, like when I was like 15, 16, I was like, I'd put an artist's entire discography in a playlist, listen to that, then I'd hear a feature I like and go, okay, word, what's that guy doing? And then I'd do the same thing for that over and over again. And through that, I found Open Mike Eagle, and then later on, I didn't really like the Milo feature on the Blue album I heard, but I then got into Milo a lot later than that. But Open Mike Eagle was a very like important artist for me to get into any of this at all. So that's like it's difficult for me because I think both of them are extremely talented. But I'd say Rap Ferreira has my favorite album between the two, being Bob's Son. I would say it's difficult. I would say I think I'm going overall for Rap Ferreira because of just like where his music sat for me in a while, and I'd say I definitely take the most influence from him out of the two. And I think that's just like a thing that I can't really be like, no, absolutely not.
Rap Ferreira is one of the most like openly expressive people who values the Black radical tradition of poetry in music and in hip hop in a way, and I think that also helps kind of informed my appreciation for him. I understand that he's boisterous, he's very niggerish and like kind of problematic, but yeah, man, it's like. Me too.
We got demonetized.
And you know my opinion on like the poetry shit as well. Like I'm writing a dissertation on it right now, and like Open Mike was coming up, but it's like a lot of that was spurred on by my interest in Rap Ferreira. Like I'm trying to I don't know if this is like crazy, but I'm trying to have a whole career off of this whole like dissecting poetry and rap thing. Like I really want this to be the whole thing I do for the rest of my life and shit. And I feel like that was spurred on by me hearing Bob's Son and then finding out Bob Kaufman and then going on there. Rap Ferreira is a very important artist to me in my development as a person. From an artistic perspective, I would go either way. Both of them are fucking incredible. I'm not saying like, oh, Rap Ferreira washes Open Mike Equal as a rap level, or the other way around.
Yo. Watch the interview, the conversation that Megan did on Secret House with Rap Ferreira.
So true.
Just to throw this out there as one of my reasons, and this has nothing to do with like personal reasons or anything like that, but there's a line from a Buck 65 song that always stuck with me about craftsmanship, about how what he does can sound simplistic, but it takes a really interesting and qualified artist to make something simple actually effective. And I think that
what is the line? I want to try to place it on now.
I don't remember. I thought it was from the song Craftsmanship where he's talking about shining shoes. But I can't find it. I brought that song up. But if I find it, I'll let you know. But
to be honest, if you asked me Buck 65 or Rory, that's a harder question for me, to be honest.
You big homies with Buck 65?
My channel is called Secret House Against.
True.
But
I love
I feel like Rory is sort of, in my mind, sort of the opposite of that. I feel like a lot of the wordplay is used to be impressive, and that's sort of like
I agree.
One of the things that I take away from it in a negative way. It's almost like what part of your song do you feel is the shortcoming that you need to punch in all these big vocabulary words, and that's probably an insecurity on my part too, because I don't have this verbose vocabulary. Like Aesop Rock does it too, but I think he does it in a more conversational tone where he uses big words and things like that. But I feel like with Rory, it's very like professorial. This is my thesis. This is my artist statement kind of feeling, and that's just one of the like small negative nitpicks that I have with him. I think he's an incredible artist. I think Purple Moonlight Page is probably one of my favorite hip hop albums the last 15, 20 years. I think it's just very impressive. But I think those are just the small things where I do appreciate the simplicity of Open Mike Eagle a little bit more. I find him to be a more relatable artist. And I think that honesty just really comes through, and that's a little bit more impactful for me overall.
Trey.
Well, my answer, I feel like I've built a reputation of sorts. I'm like a Rory hater. I'm not a Rory hater.
I didn't think you were that.
I feel like I give him a lot of grief, but like there was a huge point in my life where I got into Rory. I love this music. Spent a hell of time with this music. To Unsung's point, I feel like some of his music, some of it feels self-referential in a way where it kind of overlaps at points. And while I still love that music and still love it for what it is, it kind of feels more self-soothing to me. Open Mike Eagle, I feel like his perspective, I feel like the scope that he encapsulates as far as like rap and like how he commentates on things, as Mega would say, in a postmodern way, or just in a relevant way that feels, I don't know, it feels very with the times. But not in a cliche way. Ass nigga, but yeah, I think like on a more personal level, I would say I feel like I have like a closer relationship with Rory's music, but I feel like Open Mike Eagle, I feel like I value his what I take away from, I feel like I take more away from his music. So I'm gonna go with Open Mike Eagle.
Cool. Sure. Okay, so we're at an impasse then. What do we do? Is this when we fight?
We fight to the death.
I'm going to New York soon. I'm going to New York soon. Trey, you should come to New York as well. We'll battle to the death, and then whoever of us wins. Yeah, if I win that fight, Ferrera's the best rapper of all time. If you win it, then Open Mike Eagle is pretty good, I guess.
Now, the best way to solve this is to talk about songs where they collaborated with other artists that we appreciate, and then have to try to make a decision based on that.
Well,
so you've got Open Mike Eagle
on every song.
But you've got Open Mike Eagle on Race Music with Arm & Hammer, and then you've got
Forever's on Shrines.
Dead Cars.
On Dead Cars.
Dead Cars.
I do like him more on Dead Cars. I do like him more on Dead Cars.
But I would say though, like if we put like the Arm & Hammer joint that's on what is it? What's the one where he has the cassette? The first one he did the cassette head thing, the Master System head.
That's
tape cool component. Yeah, component system. There's a song on component system. Yeah, burner account. Like that song there. I'm saying like I'm taking that over the joints with Arm & Hammer.
I'm still taking Dead Cars. Dead Cars is too good.
Yeah, okay, words of Ferrera wins.
Dead Cars wins. But Elucid washes in all those instances for me from Dead Cars.
Woods I don't know. Woods and Elucid are like neck to yeah. Like he said point. No. He said pointed and said walk till the air thins. Might not see water, but you'll taste salt in the wind. That nigga,
yeah, I don't be remembering lyrics like that at all. I can't be like whose verse was the best. I can never do that ever. I don't remember like. I don't think I hear songs like that unless I'm specifically told to. You know, like right now I couldn't be like whose verse was the best on a song I love. I don't. That's not how I really.
Guess what, Co? You're deciding right now. Speak of the devil.
Scrapyard ghost levitating, slapbox under wolf moons, above streets where Siri noted coordinates and was too scared to speak.
Come through.
Ridiculous.
Was Steve completely still on anyone else's screen?
He was still on my screen.
It was confusing the fuck out of me.
I'm hearing is this audio that comes with the picture? Like, this is good.
Oh no, it's crazy.
Shit. Yeah, it's amazing.
On my screen,
Steve's
speed round. Don't just speak it. It's crazy.
The speed round. Speed round. I pick Elucid.
It depends. Woods. I feel like I'm taking solo Woods, but I'm taking Elucid on Arm & Hammer. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking. No, but you hear what I'm saying though. Like I feel like on an Arm & Hammer album, I'm definitely more interested in not like definitely more interested, but I feel like I know I just said that I don't be hearing these people back to back and whatever, but it's like I definitely feel like Elucid does more of the things that I'm like really interested in him doing. Like he puts a lot of effects on his voice and does like a lot of weird approaches to like melody and stuff that I really appreciate. He be barring that as well, you know, of course, but that's not really. I don't care. I don't care about people, but that's not really what I'll be listening to for. But
I know my audience.
How dare you? I didn't even finish my point. Fuck your whole life, Trey.
Speed round, nigga.
Fuck your whole life, Trey. Why? Okay, that's fine.
Nah, go ahead.
But I think Woods' like solo discography is just a lot more consistent than Elucid's. Like Elucid, I would say until what's the album? Yeah, I would say honestly until Bessie, I didn't have an Elucid album. I was like, I love this album.
Oh my god!
But like Woods, I would say from Brass onwards, I've been like, not consistently, but very frequently, like, damn, this is crazy. Damn, this is crazy. And Elucid has those moments, but I would say his discography is a lot less. His solo discography is less strong
because they came out at the same time. That Small
I think
Bills
you're a liar.
album versus Brass. I take Small Bills.
I love Brass, bro. I love Brass, but I like More Mother. I would take More Mother over both of these guys. So I feel like that's probably.
I would not.
This one is for my oldies. This is for Mega and Unsung.
I didn't even say
this or that.
Oh,
you didn't? Didn't you say?
Go back. Get
nigga,
rid of
we
shit.
work. No. Do y'all know what speed round means? Do y'all supposed to give y'all answer and keep it moving?
All I said was Woods. I didn't even give my
I don't like it.
Description of why.
All right, and I'm gonna quickly put it out there. I don't like the idea of a speed round, bro. I don't care. I don't want to be like
the idea of a speed round.
Really, just being like this and then moving on.
Yes,
but we gotta talk about it a little bit, no?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I like the idea of a speed round. Yeah,
I like the conversation, bro. I fuck with the conversation.
Okay, but
Mega,
I mean,
Mega, go ahead.
I think that Elucid has a very wonderful width and to his discography that spans an entire spectrum, but the depth that Woods reaches with some individual verses is just a different type of high water mark for me. And so I picked Woods because not necessarily like for me, it's like Woods has 3 songs that I think that are the greatest things that have ever happened. And then Elucid has like Betamax that I think is the greatest song ever. I don't know. Portrait, the verse on Dead Cars, and the verse on Gospel with fucking
that verse is fantastic. Yeah, no, that's very serious.
I put Dog-Eared on that list as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Dog-Eared. Oh my gosh, that's one of those coming up on my dissertation. But don't tell anyone. That verse is very serious.
I just think that Woods has like his high watermarks are unbelievable to me. Like, just I didn't know it was possible to create words like that. Like he if you ask me, like, put your favorite Amiri Baraka fucking poem up against a Woods verse, I would really have a hard time. And Amiri Baraka is like fucking incredible. But Woods has some shit that I'm just like, yo, my nigga, like, you are the fucking something is moving through you. And I'm not even a metaphysical spiritual cat like that, but like the gospel verse.
Crazy. Trey, why are you choosing Elucid? Explain yourself.
Well, you see, when Woods and Elucid met around the time of History Resolve Me, Elucid was the better rapper. When they made Furtive Movements, Elucid was the better rapper. When they made Race Music, Elucid was the better rapper. When they made Paraffin, Elucid was the better rapper. I think Elucid unlocked Woods' full potential, and I think he gets the credit. He activated the sleeper agent. I don't know. I just feel like I like the immediacy of Elucid. I feel like he bends words in a way that has never been seen before in rap music. I think his use of the way he can contrast with Woods and like take more tangible concepts and then elevate them in his own way. I prefer that myself, and I'm not joking when I said he's the better rapper all the way up until Paraffin.
Let me give the white man some strength right here.
Strength? That's crazy.
Right.
Thank you.
Woods was once told by A$AP Rock that he has to rap on beat, and Woods got better after that interview. That he said that all of his albums got much better after that interview. So it was A$AP Rock that made Woods a good rapper by the transitive property.
Of course, this nigga wants to give the white man credit.
Hey,
what can I expect? What can I expect from the Aquafina fan?
Hey, you didn't like Shang-Chi, my nigga? Come on, man. You ain't got yellow fever yet. You'll get it.
The thing I like most about Woods. Apologize for
your face is like your eyes are closed on my screen and frozen. You're like this. On my screen, you were like this. All right, but go off.
I apologize for sticking to the topic. One of my favorite things about Woods, though, is that at some point you realize that reading rap lyrics is not the same as reading poetry. With Woods, you don't have to worry about that in any way, because there's a different way to write poetry than there is to write raps traditionally. And usually when you're writing raps, you're writing too much, you're writing too long, you're writing to fill spaces. Woods doesn't feel like that. Woods stops when the verse stops, and not when the beat stops the 4/4, the pocket. So for him to write something like galoshes on, he leaps into puddles with both feet on the way home. Normally that wouldn't sound effective if somebody else did it and they were going to a strict beat structure. And it's not about just sounding spoken wordy, because even people like Saul Williams, they would still have things carry on a little too long and maybe not be as pointed as they could if they were just writing something to have an effect. But I think Woods handles all of that brilliantly. And the fact that he does that to a beat and it still sounds like it still works beautifully, it's just kind of astounding to me. And I think he does that a little bit better than Elucid does, personally.
I think he's one of the best at doing a lot of things. If I can, Trey, can I this or that before we go into the old head this or that? Just one. Kendrick Lamar or Billy Woods? Did y'all hear
I'm going Woods. I'm going Woods. No, I was thinking. It's Woods. It's Woods. It's Woods. No, I think if you asked me this before Morale and the Big Step, like if Morale and the Big Steppers onwards hadn't happened for Kendrick, it would have been a more difficult question for me. I just feel like his stuff from then onwards I'm so much more like, what are you doing about it than I would be able to ever say about Woods.
I just think that they are the two most important black rap artists right now, and they have been for probably at least a couple years, but like especially Woods coming into it over the last 5 years. I think that Woods and Kendrick Lamar are the two most important black rap artists alive.
Yeah, I can agree. I think like I said, this question might be blasphemous to some heads, but I do view them as like equal stature artists. Yeah. But I think I listen to Woods a little more these days, so I would take Woods.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar is
obviously like by this much.
We like To Remember Butterfly is an undeniable album. You can't there's nothing that has there's nothing to. That album is so unbelievable to me, bro. There's no way that album exists. It's crazy. And Woods definitely has stuff on similar tiers.
You want to know how To Pimp a Butterfly is an amazing album?
Go on.
Because it's still that shit has terrible politics and it's still amazing. I was thinking about if you haven't listened to it a while, you're like, bro, this album has terrible politics, but it's still amazing.
It's still brilliant. It's still so good, dude.
I think Kendrick Lamar and Black Thought are probably, in my opinion, the two best rappers to ever exist. And that is from a strict rapping perspective. Two of the best to ever do it. You could probably add Pharoah Monch to that if I felt like his career had remained as relevant as the other two.
He hasn't been as great for the last 15 years.
No, he went neo soul and everything.
You guys know about the 13 album? That was brilliant to me.
I love the 13 album.
I love that album. You should check that out.
I get your point though, Unsung.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree though.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I just think I don't know. Woods hits a little more personal, and it's probably the same reason I picked Open Mike Eagle over Rory. It's just that there's something I get from it personally. That
you relate to growing up in Africa.
Well, yeah.
Don't do that. How do you feel about him saying that? Don't let a white man take a picture. Are you him at the show at the merch table, like with his children? I mean, no.
But I think that speaks to his point, though, is that he truly makes universal music, even though it's topical about things that I don't understand. I'm not gonna study it. No matter how much Mega pressures to read theory. I'm still on I'm reading a book right now about a haunted campground. So that's where my reading level's at.
You got goosebumps.
I got something under the sink and drooling.
Campground.
What's that shit called? Like animation shit when you like transform into a horse or whatever. That's what he's on, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm on Animorphs. I got Animorphs right next to Things Fall Apart.
Animorphs.
And my goal is to combine the two and kind of find a happy medium between political and racial theory and children's horror.
Yeah.
Which actually does pretty well.
I feel like it's easy, bro.
Yeah. Hey, that's what Gollywog
I'm telling you, bro. I was growing up, and that was a horror movie for sure, bro. That was a horror movie for sure. You could have wrote
Judgment Night. You see that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, watch Judgment. Judgment Night is great. Emilio Estevez, fucking Dennis Leary. Yeah, come on, man. It's got Cuba Gooding Jr. in it. The nigga from Entourage. I forget his name.
Yeah, am I allowed to progress?
No, we talking about Judgment Night now, nigga. Just wait your turn. Go ahead, Unsung.
This or that.
Metal Jit. All right, never mind.
This is more so for Unsung and Mega, sure. But I'm picking Def Jux. Co, you go. These two are gonna rant.
Def Jux. I like Fun Crusher Plus a lot. That's a good album. But
it's
not.
Who's
Def Jux?
Yeah, technically.
Wait. What is Def Jux then? Wait,
Fun Crusher was independent. Fun Crusher Plus came out on Raucous.
Oh, and I just listened to the thing about that. I thought that Def Jux was like I didn't realize it was a label. I thought that was what they called like the collective.
Wait, I'm gonna tell you the discography right now.
I don't know the history like that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna just name notable albums. Cold Vein, Labor Days. You fuck with Labor Days?
I like Cold Vein. I like Cold Vein.
Fantastic Damage. Do you like I Phantom? You fuck with I Phantom? You fuck with Bazooka Tooth?
Oh yeah. Well, not fuck with it. Like I think it's. I'm listening. I'm like, yeah, cool.
I'll sleep when you're dead.
I don't really like that one.
Not a big fan.
Really?
Mega and Steve, what do you think? I'm taking Def Jux. I love that. I Sleep When You're Dead's LP's best.
I'm stepping out of this because I don't know anything Anticon. I don't know anything Anticon, bro.
I don't either.
Oh, so that's why you chose Def Jux? Yeah, because you don't know them.
Yes, precisely.
Yeah. Go, old people. Do what you do.
That's really. That's like you just didn't see them as real people. That's fucked up.
Okay, my fault. I love you guys really.
Supremely disrespectful, and it was.
I respect my elders,
especially hilarious considering that you know nothing about either of these two.
Hey, let me be ignorant in peace.
Uneducated Zoomer, go hop on your TikToks.
No, definitely. Definitive Jux has the better high watermarks. I think Cannibal Locks is definitely above anything that really came out on Anticon. But Anticon, for me, is going to be my choice. There was just several like there was a bunch of albums that came out on Definitive Jux that are kind of nostalgic for reasons like Party Fun Action Committee, and also Dead Ringer for reasons that are not the same reason I'm judging Anticon. It's like if I judge it by a hip hop standpoint, like LP, Liff, Aesop, and that one Cannibal Locks album kind of hold down Definitive Jux. Like Nighthawk. There's one good Cage album, but it gets into like Chin Chin, and it gets into but that's they're already gone. They're already dead. And Anticon, even though they pivoted, they also had a lot of albums that came out that were really good. Bracken, SJ Esau, they had fucking a lot of things that came out. But for me, the Anticon movement, which started a few years before the definitive jokes movement in terms of like labels. I just think that Anticon, a lot of those albums, I have a lot of different things to champion them for, that I don't think that I have to say about definitive jokes. And also, I don't really. I think Def Jokes kind of suffers from the fact that they had become definitive jokes. It was like a thing. It's like Def Jokes.
Why did they have to become definitive jokes?
Oh, they had a cease and desist from Def Jam. It was too close, and so they had to start doing definitive jokes. And also the hand style they did for the DJX. The logo is not as iconic or as dope as the Anticon icon, the small guy icon. And also I think that the lineup of great artists, like we've got Dose, we've got Soul, we've got Pedestrian, we've got Passage, we've got Alias, who's not all that great, and all the beat makers. I just think that the MC stable is a little bit did a little bit cooler things. I don't know. I'm going with Anticon on this. Yeah, I know. I'm a big Anticon guy. I don't know what to say about it.
I agree with that. I think they packed more into a small period of time than Def Jux did. I think that I'll Sleep When You're Dead, the Fantastic Damage, Canox, Labor Days. I think those are my picks overall, where like Anticon, I could just name way more things. Yeah, the downside with Anticon is that just to do it by label standards, there was a lot of great stuff that they were releasing on Mush at the time as well.
Mush and also Lex too. Yes, there was stuff on Mush and Lex and other labels. But if you consider them collectives, because a lot of the cats who were on Def Jux, they didn't go other places. In fact, like some of them did something and then came to Def Jux, like a C-Ray Walls, like that,
which I didn't care about at all.
Nobody really cares about Robbie Pop. Right. Nobody really cares about
Hangar 13. People,
it's like Blockheads.
Alaska cares about Hangar 13.
Like some of the Alaska stuff I like too, but like Hangar 18 is different than the Outer Family too. And it's like, also you have like Blockhead, who's great, and RJD2, who are great, but those I'm not even taking into consideration like DJ Mayo 55 Stories or fucking Greenball from jail, or 6'2" or those cats.
Exactly.
I like Buck 65 is also a part of that Anticon lineage. Sage Francis has fucking personal journals. It's like there were so many things about the Anticon collective that are stronger than the definitive Jux label.
I agree. And I mean, there's Y albums that like I love so much, like some of my favorite things that I remember, like all the lyrics from. And also
Quiet, Oakland Azul Asylum,
13 and God. You have the early Serengeti stuff, with some of my favorite Serengeti albums actually. His early Kenny Dennis stuff,
he came out on it was like it was re-released. Like there's a lot. I just like I've always been a weird Anticon kid. Like I got into it and I started noticing the like definitive jokes got popular in kind of a similar way that like Run the Jewels got popular, where there were people who are not necessarily a part of that like underground community, but found out about it through like Cartoon Network in a way type of thing. Like I would go to Anticon shows all the time, and it'd be like 100 people, 200 people max, and then you'd pay like double that to go to like a Def Jux show, and there was a lot more people, but there was a lot of people in there who did not know who Mr. Liff was. Like there was a lot of people in there who didn't know Smashy Trashy, and there was a lot of girls in there who were dressed sexy and dancing provocatively in the El Rey in Los Angeles. It was just like I just thought that Anticon was a little bit closer to the standards that I had. And both of y'all need to do a little bit of knowledge on that, because it's really like two of the most important labels that have ever been independent underground, I think. And they happen to be like
what's when you say that, like what's the approach of doing the knowledge? Because it's like I listen to music and it's like cool, but it's
Kosey, my approach to doing the knowledge is dialectical and historical materialism. It's not just about listening to the music, it's about seeing what was happening at the time, what was the cultural temperament, what is the historical lineage of these things. And Anticon is like hugely impactful in a way that doesn't get the same attention, because Anticon was wildly more experimental in a lot of ways. Like you listen to some of these things, it's just like listen to Green Think Blindfold. There's no other album that's like that. Cloud Dead, there's no other hip hop album that's like that. They were not only changing the approach to lyricism, but also the production of it was largely wide and varied because they skirted a lot of the hip hop tradition of traditional sample based drums and the Black American tradition of sampling soul, gospel, funk records. They were sampling from fucking Howdy Doody records and fucking weird, things that just were, it was completely authentic in a way that was removed from blackness, but blackness is not the demarcation of what is or isn't hip hop in a lot of ways. Like it was important, it was different, and like it was something unusual compared to Smashy Trashy is like it's almost like a megahertz album. It's almost like a
did you call me?
a Smut Peddlers or Eastern Conference album. It's very hip hop, but the things that were happening on Anticon are very, very strange. And especially if you're talking about the appreciation for poetry within this space, there is no other collective in hip hop that gets close to the radical tradition of beat poetry or poetry as Anticon. Like literally the Deep Puddle Dynamics album was them writing like the
writing and then moving the words around.
Well, also that, but also like one of the things that they were really committing to was like, don't write a verse, write a poem, and if you can't read it as a rap, then it doesn't count. Like it's not that. It's like they were really emphasizing and focusing on the poetic intent of doing this, and it was one of the things that they stood against because there was such a kind of like a cultural temperament that rap is a certain type of hand. You got to be a hieroglyphics rapper. You have to be an East Coast rapper. You have to do these things. And they subverted a lot of those standards and created a lot of things. And it wasn't just them. Freestyle Fellowship was doing that too. But they took that pathos, that ethics, they stood on it, and all of their artwork came out from that. In a lot of ways, they were demonized for it because it wasn't doing the black hip hop thing, even though they were standing by the ethics of all the things that people wanted hip hop to continue doing. You listen to Passage and you listen to Soul, like there's a politics there. There's a deep critical critique of the American experience as a nuclear wasteland for the atomic family. There's a lot of things going on there. And most people don't really think about Anticon in any serious way because they only see it from now without any of the historical aspects. Like, does it sound good? Like, do I like it? Like, what was it about? Was it popular? Do people appreciate it? But Anticon was like, I really think they were doing something special back then. Well, and I can like watch the video that I just did, the 2001 songs from 2001 that I was listening to 2001. At the end of it, I'm talking about like a verse from Idea, who were talking about that Midwest flow earlier. And if you listen to the creative writer style that he's using on the song Savior, where he's talking about needing a savior and looking to aliens and shit, like nobody was really doing that type of stuff. And it's not that it's white, it's just like a human experience that's happening there. And it is one of the most like literary like clear through lines. Like people give Nas props for doing the reverse bullet rap, you know what I mean, or all these things, but like in the tradition of Open Mike Eagle being a great creative writer MC who can think of a topic and write all the way through, like that shit was happening too. And even Open Mike Eagle was a huge fan of them, and Rory is a huge fan of Buck 65 and the things that they were doing on Asylum, themselves. Like there's so many albums that are just rich with the tradition of beat poetry and black rhythmic poetry from the American expression of rap. And if you don't obfuscate by the fact that they're white guys and allow the originality, like we're talking about in the black scent and the accent conversation, if you just allow them to be authentic human beings who express themselves, you'll find that they are doing some actual fucking incredible things in hip hop and experimental things in hip hop that have yet to be replicated, or they were replicated to the point that they became fucking tropey and not cool anymore. It's very good stuff.
I think going back to the whole Peggy conversation about experimental hip hop, when I think experimental, even from the beginning of hip hop to now, my mind immediately goes to Dose One. Like that's sort of the high water mark for me.
Yeah.
I still have failed to see anyone approach his level of just intelligence, knowledge of the past, present, and future, and sound anything like that whatsoever.
Bar craftsmanship, deep poetic fucking insight, metaphors, similes. Like on the video I just did at the end, I have a part where I'm talking about my way out of a paper bag, and just like listen to me talk about it a little bit, then put it on the headphones and then try to figure out the lyrics. Like it's I'm a fucking 9. And you know what he was being assailed for a lot back then, that prevented a lot of people, especially a lot of black hip hop people, from liking him? They said he sounded gay. They used to call him the F slur. They used to say that he was not tough, he was not cool. But if you battle Dose One, that's one tough bitch. She would fuck you up. And that's what, like, Dose is just that fucking level of so dope that the talent is unassailable. You know, Alaska might not like soul, but Alaska don't got bad shit to say about fucking Dose One. Dose One gets into hip hop heaven, and Dose One is one of the most incredible stylers of all fucking aspects in hip hop. And they, like, nobody talks about Dose One and what Dose was doing in the same way that we talk about Vast Air. Like, and Vast Air is fine, but listen to Vast Air now, like his new shit, and then listen to the last Dose that came out on Backwoods. Like, Dose is still doing new styles. Dose is still putting together some of the most ridiculously well-crafted multi-syllabic bars that are not fucking lyrical miracle for the sake of rhyming like an Eminem, but they have deep poetic, philosophical, and ethical meaning within the lens of what hip-hop ideally could stand for as a beautiful, uncorrupted art form. It's really good stuff. I know that this was supposed to be this or that and fast, but
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I know y'all talking on this one.
Sucks. That's why I said the speed run sucks.
No. This was designed. This was designed for Mega to get his tangent off. But now, in the interest of time, I will get it moving. I just want to on the record. I never want to hear Mega say, "I never let his ass talk again." I never want to hear that again.
Let me just go back to the beginning of hip hop real quick.
No. I love Mega to death, but I dead ass think we could make an episode where it's just Mega talking for 3 hours. I dead ass think that's possible. Like we just put like supplementary sentences, and I dead ass think he could talk for 3 hours. But that's why he's a little smarty head, so he got to get his shit off. I respect it. I respect it.
Shout out.
The hell out of it. I can't do that. I can't tangent like that.
No, I can't. Yeah, that's why it pisses me off, because nigga can talk. I'm like, how does he fucking say sentences that like make sense every time?
I mean, I'm not saying I caught all of it, but yeah, he can.
Yeah, good stuff. That's why I was kind of wanting. That's why I kind of asked that question, because it's like I find with stuff like that, it's like so undocumented. Like, there are places where you can find interviews and people talking about it and whatever, but so much of what Mega's saying is like so deeply related to the fact he was there experiencing it. You know, that's why I was asking, like, how do you do the knowledge in that context where there's these people who did something that was very much like, nigga, do you think I don't know about fucking
YouTube?
Google? You think I don't know about fucking Google, nigga?
I think you do need people that are closer to it, but I think one of the mistakes that a lot of like Reddit subreddits do, where like somebody wants to get turned on to an artist or a band, is like, you know, they'll say start from the beginning, and that's just not as accessible to some people. Like, I wouldn't be able to do that with an artist, because you know that I skim through tracks, I barely listen to things, so I'm gonna need something that's gonna pull me in right away.
I also think, like, there's so often as you try to get into an artist and their first album fucking sucks. Like, they get good later, you know. It's like,
second album's usually pretty good, but first album's usually
the first album, you know what I mean? It's very rare. It's like, I don't know. I feel like I don't think I would be nearly as much of a Quelle Chris fan if I heard him like doing his like mixtape shit. If I heard like the album he did with Denmark, if that was the first thing I heard of him, because that's like 2009. That's before anything of his stuff on streaming. If I heard his album with Denmark before I heard anything else, I wouldn't have gotten into Quelle Chris. You know, starting from the beginning isn't always Like, as much as that is the historical approach to it, and it doesn't always mean like you're gonna get into it, I guess.
Like, even if somebody suggests like a deep dive, it's really, it's got to be tailored to you knowing that person, you knowing that person's taste. So like, what's going to like get that artist to click for them too?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
cool. Trey,
in the interest of time, I would like to keep things moving.
Yeah,
this
whatever.
Next one is the final. This next one is the final one. It's the final one. I just want to say I have 2 things I left on the table. We're not going to talk about it.
We can do it in the bonus. We can do it in the bonus. We can do it in the bonus.
We left on the table. We have Rod Marciano and Makami, and we have the Cold Vein versus the Infamous by Mobb Deep. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that right now. But I mean, there's a lot of material with this. So like, if you guys want to do this another time, just let us know. No. But
I'm fine. Makami.
The final one. Shut up.
That's bonus content for the bonus.
The final one.
I've never listened to the Rap Music Plug podcast.
This nigga Trey is so evil. This nigga Trey is a serious problem, bro. Where's he going? He did that. Okay, it's difficult. It's one of those things like who's the better rapper, who's the better artist situation. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God, I hope I'm the better rapper.
You don't want to be the better artist?
Ro calls it in the stew, so that should tell you something. No, I'm in the stew recording right now.
What's up with the minutes is on the record. We do not fuck with the Rap Music Plug podcast. We have life or death beef with Rohan Patra. If we ever see him in Japan or Georgia or London, he will have to check in with us.
Steve, where you're at? Steve, where you're at, man? We got to add that to the list of places he can't hang out, bro. Yeah, bro.
He's in Maine. Bro, West Virginia.
Bro, if you're ever in Maine, you got to make sure to check in with Unsung, bro.
We rep the Unseen Underground podcast.
I'm gonna be like very like honest about this. Like obviously I love.
Damn, it was a joke.
I
want to discuss thoughts on this. And all shout out to all of Rose. I think Ro's really good at what he does. He has interview questions. He gets to depths of what the artists are doing, their thoughts, their process, and how they work. But me as a listener, I'm not really interested in that type of stuff. As a fan of art, I don't really care to hear a lot about how people are making artistic choices and what they want to do. And I'm more interested in the idea, and this is what I've done with my podcast and what I do with my conversations and what Unsung is doing with his, even though he also starts at a position of like a starting point of something strange, like the supernatural dreams and things of that nature. Like, I find that a little bit more interesting than hearing about this album sounds psychedelic. Like, what is it about psychedelic music that you like? I prefer to sit down with somebody and be like, yo, have you ever done psychedelics? Let's talk about our psychedelic experiences. Yeah, and so for me, I haven't listened to a Rap Music Plug podcast in a long time. I've seen clips. I know what he does and how well he does it, but I'm not interested personally in that type of content. I'm more interested in the casual, strange kind of like, if I met this person in a coffee shop, like, what would I talk to them about? If I'm not a huge fan of their work, I'm not going to interrogate what things mean so I can have a better clarity of what the art is getting towards. And I especially don't have any intention of doing that for the most part for an audience that listens to me, because I talk too much to be an interviewer. I respond too much to be an interviewer. I don't know how to shut up to be an interviewer.
Oh my God.
I don't care for that.
And Oh my God, my fault. Listen. I think these two podcasts do vastly different things. I think Ro's the best in his interview niche. I think his catalog will go down when it's all said and done. That list of fucking interviews, like that shit gonna go down in history. I think Unsung has the perfect idea. Right? Unsung fulfills a great lane. I think he has the right idea. We vaguely talked about this, but like there's a lot of niggas trying to do the rap interview shit. Like when Rose booking everyone on earth, that shit gets boring. That's why I think Unsung has a great podcast where he attacks it from another perspective. I think the performance aspect to it is extremely funny and humorous.
Yo, shout out to the skits, bro.
I enjoy both of them.
Skit.
Check out Unseen Underground podcast.
So true.
Check out the Rap Music Plug podcast. I fuck with both of them.
Me and Steve had a brief conversation about stuff like this in the What's Up with the Minutes group chat, which has slowly become a small colony. We making a commune in the Rap Music Plug Discord. And yeah, I just feel like the general approach of like those more broad questions that no, those more like artist specific questions is definitely something that interests me less and less over the years. But as it's making doing my dissertation and that and stuff and like that, it's making me realize there's a huge value in like Ro as like I don't think he considers himself this, but he's kind of a historian. He's like he has a huge document of all of these artists in their different even moments in their life. He's interviewed the same people several different times. You learn more about the change in these artists' approach over their time, and I feel like that's going to be an invaluable resource at a certain point. That's kind of like what I was asking before in terms of like the when I said do the knowledge thing on the Anticon stuff is like there's like is there like a comparative historical document of all of these people in the same way, you know? And I think that's what's so brilliant about the Rap Music Plug podcast, and what's so brilliant about what Dano's doing, and so brilliant about what like all of these people who are doing like just in like interviews that are very much trying to get to the bottom of like what this album in particular is doing, is seeing these things as stepping stones in horror oh my gosh, historical like in historical sequence is something that's like is really beautiful to be there, you know. Saying that though, I don't necessarily enjoy like those type of things, like from a moment to moment thing. It's not really something I enjoy doing. When I'm trying to do my research into things, that's an extremely invaluable resource, but I do prefer the kind of more casual conversation of like Def C talking to Mega, or Unsung talking to Teller Banks about him seeing an exorcism, you know. It's kind of more up my alley.
The interviews that I get where I'm talking to an artist, the artist is usually a fucking like an academic. You know, it's like the artist is a nigga that wrote a book and has something to say about stuff like that, and that's the only interviews that I really pay attention to for any reason. And again, it's like it has nothing to do with like Ro, but I know he's the GOAT. I know he's the one right now. Like Sean Serrero used to be that guy for a while. I thought like he just was getting on artists and having some really knowledgeable and insightful conversations with people within the hip hop community. And then when he stopped, it was like, yeah, you know. And Ro definitely does focus on more of the underground type of stuff, and I think that's important too. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, it's really brilliant for sure.
You know, and obviously my pick is the Rap Music Plug podcast,
of course.
But also, Ro is just like a professional in every way. He does the research, something that I absolutely do not do. You know, for better or for worse. I'm not going to go back and listen to an artist's entire discography, make notes about something, because that's not the point of it. The point of it is for me to be able to skate by with as little research as possible, so that we can talk about other things. Like, you can plug the thing that you're doing, but that's not the reason you're on the show either. Like, because I don't have the numbers like Ro does. Also, you're going to be on other podcasts. If you are plugging something, you're going to talk about all that stuff. You're going to talk about that stuff with Ro. So you can come to me a month or two later after your album drops and give me a little bit of a resurgence, remind people that this is out, because we live in such a disposable, you know, internet world that once another album drops, like, that's forgotten about.
Yeah.
So I like that. Yeah, go ahead.
Excuse me. Ro is one of the best insightful places for the press run.
Yes, absolutely. For
sure.
Yeah,
like,
he does an amazing job. He's an amazing interviewer. The reason that I created this is the same reason I create music, even though it sounds cheesy. I like to make things that I want to listen to. And I know that my attention span goes in different places. So my favorite part about touring, my favorite part about meeting new people was always at the end of the night, when the defenses go down and you can actually open up a little bit more about like how many times have you met somebody and then it's going towards the end of the night and they're like, oh yeah, my aunt's house was haunted, or you talk about like, oh yeah, I had this dream where this happened. That was always my favorite part. That's the most fascinating part, because it's sort of like that abstract hip hop where you're talking about something that's not directly related to your personality, but your personality comes through in some ways. What you think the afterlife might be like? What do you think this happens after this? Like, what influences you to think these ways instead of, you know, what were you thinking when you sampled this, or how important was this bar to you, or like, what do you do for a living? It's that's just not my concern. My concern is the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah, me and Teddy Faley were talking about, you know, like him losing his mom, him losing his dog, me losing my cat, me losing my dad. Like, that's really what I wanted to get out of the podcast more. It's just like, how do you prioritize grief? You know, not necessarily like, how do you prioritize which bar comes before, you know, like, or what track order. You know,
that's one of the reasons that I've been wanting to be on your podcast for a while, because
I would love that.
I have a lot of experiences that are supernatural. I used to do dream journals, and I think that stuff is fascinating. Like I like talking to people about, like, one of the things that people have been talking about in Discord at Secret House recently is like, yo, there should be a dream room. And I was like, yeah, we just do that in the Rhinoceros Boom Slang room, just where you can just like dream journal. Like, it's all for words. Like, it doesn't matter if it's poetry, short story, fucking article or some shit. Like, it's all for words. So put it in there. So, but yeah, I'm tremendously fascinated by that. And when I have conversations with people in real life, I'm not like, you know, I might try to be like, well, what kind of person are you? Like, where do you come from? Who's your mom? Who's your dad? But those are also not like questions about exactly like, you know, what does the song mean? You know, I might have something towards that, but I'd be like, yo, you said this, but like, what, like, are you from, you know, fucking Mom Donnie? Like, is that your mom? Like,
are you from Mom Donnie?
This nigga birthed you? Like,
ladies and gentlemen.
Like, who's your mom? Who's your dad? You wouldn't know him.
Yeah. How's your mood? How's your mood? How's your smile?
I think that's a good note to end on, to go into recommendations.
Let's put recommendations in the fucking Patreon.
Say on God.
Like always, or just this time?
I don't care. It's bonus content.
Okay, wait.
Put it in his thing.
I don't know. I like doing a little.
It's Mega's fault.
See, y'all niggas want to give. Y'all want to
blame Mega.
You want to give Jules for free.
Yes,
Jules for free. I don't even think I got a recommendation this week, so I don't really care.
That's fine.
I have a recommendation.
Oh, but you're saving it for the bonus.
But you'll make it 30 more minutes knowing you.
God damn. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Steve, do you? Listen, so are we gonna go straight to Steve?
Tom. What do you want to plug? What do you want to tell our audience?
I didn't know this was coming.
No, nobody mentioned that to him. No, I'm gonna do a quick interview.
He doesn't. I forget he doesn't listen to anything.
For UNSUNG, I have several questions for UNSUNG afterwards to get to know him better, and that'll be on the Patreon. Like,
they're gonna go on a date. This whole time we were matchmaking these folk.
Go on a date with.
We were matchmaking these folk, bro.
That's what we were planning. I wonder what he would. I wonder what he like. What type of date he'd take me on? But I have an idea of what I would do with him.
What would you guys do? What Steve, are you like a suit on a first date kind of guy? How are you dressing? What's the fit?
No, maybe a scarf over this.
Okay, I like scarves. I fuck with you.
Mega on a date. Who's your mom? Who's your dad?
Yeah, like me and UNSUNG, we're gonna put on some yellow hard hats. We're gonna go through a nice little hike through a construction site of gentrification in one of the old black neighborhoods.
Man.
We're gonna sit down. We're gonna have a picnic. I'm gonna have like a
couple ham salad sandwiches.
You know what I mean? Like a spam sandwich. I'll give a little tapioca.
Man. Fuck all that. Listen, UNSUNG. We enjoy having you on.
Thank you.
Go check out Unsung everywhere you listen to music. Go check out the Unseen Underground podcast. We don't want to hear shit Mega has to say. Hand painted model trains. Go check it out.
Oh my gosh. And with that said, we've been the minutes. Does anyone else want to finish it?
Your time is up.
Your time is up.
So true.
At Unsung the rapper on socials.
Yeah, damn.
The music stuff.
Oh, this is so awkward. What are we gonna do now? Wait, the song didn't even like play us out. It played for like 10 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been.
And your time is up.
Your time is up. I want to listen to the beat. It's good music.
I got you. Hold on. I got you.
What's happening right now? What's happening right there? There's too much.
I'm fucking it up. Real hip hop. It's called mashup, man.
Listen.
Mashup.
The episode will have ended by then, so we don't. Okay.
Batman. It's called a mashup. Batman.
Random bonus.